Editing Hannah here. First of all, if you don't want to hear this preamble, I'll have a timestamp of when the actual video starts. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to first introduce this video because my last video kind of hit off a little bit. I'm pleasantly surprised. Most of my videos only get like 20 views. And so this is very different. I know it's pretty microscopic in terms of like YouTube land, but I'm pleasantly surprised. And I gained like 150 subscribers from it because I had only 19. So thank you. If you are here for my last video, thank you for checking me out again and giving me another chance. If you are from my last video and you want to see more kind of statistic thingies, I will be doing that as well. This is just a video that I've probably been working on for like a month. And so I'd like to post it. I do plan on doing more of my kind of Big Brother simulations if that's something that you are interested. So rest assured, I will do that. But this is a series that is basically me recapping a full season of a reality television show. So if you like reality television more than just Big Brother, this would be a good series to watch as well. I label it TLDW, which stands for Too Long Didn't Watch. I hope you enjoy it, or don't, and just check out other videos. I'm kind of nervous because I was not expecting the response to the last one, and now I feel like people are watching me. But I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be shocked if this isn't like 2 hours long.
Bitch, I am from Chicago.
Well, hello, my good people of YouTube. I have returned to do another recap of a Drag Race season. This will be season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Incredible.
And this is a part of a series that I think I finally have settled on a name for my series. And I'm coining it TLDW, which stands for Too Long Didn't Watch. Because the point of this series is really so that, you know, if you got bored watching these seasons or you just don't have the time, you can just watch my little recap of it and learn everything that you need to know so that you can discuss on the forums as a informed consumer. So anyway, we're going to be covering season 2 of Drag Race, which, for the record, the quality is just so much better. It's also just a lot more entertaining. The girls actually like fight with each other. It's actually like a worthy season of television, in my opinion. I don't think season 1 was a worthy season of television, but season 2, it's got some iconic stuff to it. But it also has some things that I need to address before we continue on. Hello, I wanted to refilm my disclaimers because I felt like I was a bit rambly in the first one. And I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna be a bit rambly in this one too, but it might just be slightly better than the first one. But basically, I just want to establish some things before we get into the recap so that everyone is on the same page of a few things. And the bulk of it, we'll be talking about 2 queens, but there's a few other things that I also want to address before getting into it. First thing is I just wanted to mention that there is a queen on this cast who goes by the name of Sony, and you will hear me refer to her as Kylie throughout the rest of the video. And that is because she came out as a transgender woman and she chose the name Kylie to go by, and that is also her current drag name. And so I felt like with it being a name change that goes along with her transition as well as being her current drag name, that's just what I wanted to refer to her for the majority of this video. So when you hear me talk about a contestant named Kylie, I'm talking about the contestant from the season Sonique. Just so we're all on the same page there. The other thing that I kind of want to briefly go over before I get into like the bulk of this disclaimer, and I just want to talk about this so that we're all on the same page and no one is blindsided by this. And I don't want it to feel like a gotcha moment or anything like that. This is me putting respect on this queen's name, but there is a contestant on this season who has passed away since the season was aired. This is Sahara Davenport. She tragically passed away in 2012 at the age of 27. And I just want this to be upfront so that you as the audience can appreciate Sahara for the incredible performer that she is. And we can kind of use this recap as a way to look back on her legacy. She really is just like a super funny and spirited queen. She always had this like great vibe to her, honestly. Every time that I saw her on the screen, she just seems like a joy to be around. And she's such an incredible performer. And I just want to make sure that that is mentioned beforehand, just so we are aware of what happened and we're able to put respect on her name while we're going through this recap. And so those are kind of the two less controversial disclaimers that I wanted to get through. And the other part of this disclaimer is going to be talking about two particular queens, and that is Shangela and Tyra. And I want to make sure to talk about these two queens because I think that it's important that the audience is aware of what things that they've done post-show so that you can make an informed opinion on them. I don't want to show them without talking about the actions that they've had since filming the show. The two of them have done some actions that I think is important for the audience to know about them. And I'm going to talk about them and then I'm going to go into some nuanced discussion about it after the fact. So follow me along with this, and I would like some feedback regarding this. So I'd love to know your thoughts. But I'm going to start just by mentioning what sort of things they did that have caused some controversy post-show. So I want to talk about both Shangela and Tyra and go into what exactly they've done to cause controversy. And then I'm going to talk about how that is affecting my coverage of them. So first I'm going to go into Shangela. And just as a heads up, I will be briefly mentioning SA in this little disclaimer. I will not be going into much detail, but if you feel uncomfortable, I will leave a timestamp on the screen for you to skip over. But for Shangela, in 2023, there was a civil suit filed against her from one of the producers of the shows that she worked on. This suit alleged that she had SA'd him after he became too intoxicated to give consent. In 2024, at least 5 other men also came forward with similar stories about Shangela, where they were too intoxicated to give consent and Shangela went forward and SA'd them anyway. These events are all allegations, and so Shangela has never been charged with anything, so we are calling them allegations for that reason. I, however, do want to voice support for victims, and I want to make sure that these allegations are known before we show anything of Shangela. I want you to be an informed consumer when watching her and know this is in the back of your head whenever she pops on screen. As for Tyra, the things that she has done post-show are a little more complicated. She has had quite a complex post-show career, I guess you could say. But she has done some things that I and others of this fandom would consider rather heinous and are things that she should be held accountable for. And again, I just want to tell you what those are up front so you are able to have this in the back of your head before we go into this full recap. But basically, while she's done a lot of different things, a lot of little different things, I would say that she has 3 major controversies that I think have really soured the fandom on her. And I'm going to list those in chronological order. First, she doxed one of her fellow contestants by posting their full phone number online. And frankly, that is rather unhinged behavior. Secondly, she tweeted out a threat of violence towards DragCon. I'm not sure if YouTube will like me fully discussing what that threat was, so that's why I'm not discussing that. But she did tweet out a veiled threat to DragCon, which has caused her to become banned from DragCon. And third, and this is the most recent thing that she's been doing, and I think it's the thing that has really drawn the line in the sand for the fandom because her history has been so complicated. And that is that earlier this year, when the Vivian passed away tragically, Tyra has been just posting rather heinous and vile posts about it and has just been talking about it in a really distasteful way that has really soured both the fandom and the show itself on Tyra. And I think it's important that Tyra is held accountable for these things that she's done post-show. But I do think there's also a much more nuanced conversation that is to be had with Tyra. And this nuanced conversation does not take away these things that she's done. Because frankly, at the end of the day, we all have free will and we can make decisions on the things that we do. And we can make decisions on whether or not we are a horrible person or not. And Tyra has clearly chosen to just disregard that part of her humanity, and that's important to hold accountable. And I want to be very clear about that before I go into any more conversation regarding Tyra. And I want you to be aware of those actions that Tyra has done before we go into conversations about her. Now, regarding how I'm covering Tyra and Shangela on the show, I am choosing different paths regarding them. When it comes to Shangela, I have decided to under-edit her. Basically, I am choosing to not show things that I think would endear the public to her. I'm still including her storylines and I'm still including her performances and whatnot. But if I think she did something just kind of funny on the show and it would be something that I would normally clip and include in my recap, I have decided against doing that. And so with Shangela, I'm just talking about her if she's relevant, but not mentioning her for any other reason. And I'm inclined to do that moving forward with most of these kind of blacklisted contestants. But this would be something I'd like some feedback on. As opposed to Tyra, I am choosing to cover fully in the show. And there's 2 major reasons as to why I'm doing that. The first is that, frankly, she doesn't exactly have the best edit. And so I don't feel that bad showing those parts of her, you know? As opposed to people like Shangela or other kind of blacklisted contestants. A lot of them have come out of the show with a rather favorable edit and has allowed them to garner a pretty sizable fandom because of that. And I think it's clear that Tyra's edit did not do that. And so by showing it, I don't feel that irresponsible doing so, to be quite honest. So that's the first reason. The other reason goes into the more nuanced things regarding Tyra. And this will be kind of an ongoing conversation regarding Tyra while we go through this recap. And I've been trying to figure out how to articulate this, and I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do a great job doing so. But there's something with Tyra that, for me personally, when I look back at the things that she's done, it garners an emotion of pity in me more than anything. It feels as though the action she's taken is a spiral of self-destruction that has been caused by such a negative fan reception. And while that doesn't excuse the things that she's done, not at all, it feels as though this was like a created self-destruction, as opposed to someone like Shangela, who came out of the show with a sizable fandom, who came out of the show and became one of the most successful non-winners of the show, I would say, and yet was doing these heinous things behind the scenes. Like, she was really at the top and destroyed herself through this selfish, predatory act. Whereas Tyra, I feel like, came out of the show and the reception dug her a larger grave. And I think it's caused her to just lean into being a troll in the fandom and do these things that garner negative attention towards herself as like a form of self-destruction. And that overall fills me with pity. And so I'm not sure if I'm explaining that the best way, but there's a different intention, I feel, behind the things that Tyra does versus the things that other blacklisted contestants have done. And that makes me feel a little more comfortable showing her fully to the audience when I cover her. With this being said, I am very willing to hear what other people think when it comes to covering blacklisted contestants. And I mean that in terms of Drag Race, I mean that in terms of any reality show. Because truth be told, there are a lot of awful people who have gone on reality television shows. And I've been grappling with this for quite a bit, because I acknowledge that I think giving them attention is kind of exactly what they want. And so I fear that by showing them is giving them the attention that they ultimately kind of crave with this platform. But on the other hand, I'm kind of a completionist, and I like being able to tell the full story of a season, and that's very hard to do completely erasing a contestant from the show. And part of the reason why I kind of do this series to begin with is because I've seen throughout the years just like a lot of these reality shows that I watch just get completely scrubbed from the internet and streaming platforms. And this is kind of my way of trying to counteract lost media for myself even, and just kind of having a full recap of a show on my YouTube page so that I can go back and enjoy it the way that I would by watching it. And so I'm kind of a completionist. But with that being said, I also don't want to platform these people. And so what I'm asking is essentially, how should I move forward with these people? Luckily for this season, Shangela is not shown very much. Spoiler alert. But she does return for 2 other seasons, and she's going to be shown a lot more in those. And so what I want to know is, should I continue doing what I'm doing for this season, where I kind of just mention them when they're relevant and still include their performances and runways and whatnot, just kind of under edit them and try to not include things that might endear the audience to her? Or should I go even further and just completely axe any storylines that these queens are a part of, or even completely axe their performances that are shown or their runways that are shown? Should I only talk about them if they say win the challenge or are in the bottom 2? I don't really know. So, you know, if you have strong opinions on it, I would like to know. If you don't and you think that the way that I'm doing it is fine, I would also like to know.
I really don't know.
But I think what I'm doing for this video is just, I want you to know what they've done so that when you see them on the screen, you know exactly what that is. And we're still just moving forward with the season as it was aired, if that makes sense. I don't know. I hope this makes sense. I also feel like I still rambled on about it, but I think I explained myself a little bit better, so I'll probably like this one more than the first take that I had. Anyway, don't yell at me.
I'm Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
So episode 1. We are introduced to 12 new queens. The queens are Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
Shangela, who has only been doing drag for 5 months, and you can tell. Raven, Jujubee, Sahara Davenport, who you can immediately tell knows Shangela.
Oh my gosh.
They're not very subtle about it. Morgan McMichaels, who also knows Raven. They're not quite as obnoxious as Shangela and Sahara are, but you can still tell that they know each other. Mystique Summers, Jessica Wilde.
Jessica Wilde.
She's a Puerto Rican queen. I love my Puerto Rican queen.
If I don't understand something, I am going to smile.
Sonique, who now goes by Kylie, so I'm going to be calling her Kylie. She also knows Nicole. They are both from Atlanta, Georgia. Tatiana, Pandora Box,
I'm Pandora Box and I'm 30 years old.
and Tyra. So RuPaul immediately meets all the girls,
Nicole Paige Brooks.
From Atlanta, Georgia.
and then he introduces them to Mike Ruiz, who will be doing a photo shoot with them. This photo shoot is inspired by Gone with the Wind,
Nicole Paige Brooks.
From Atlanta, Georgia. Am I allowed to pinch your nipples?
and it's very fitting because they have a wind blower that is blowing away all of their faces. I gotta say, with fake eyelashes, this is a very funny challenge.
In the back of my wig, and I think it's gonna fly off, so
During the challenge, Morgan McMichael's wig flies away,
And she tried to recover from it, but I find that she never really did.
and she as well is starting to... I'm trying to think of a pun that has to go with fly away, but I don't think there is one. But she's starting to annoy the other contestants as well, because she's very confident. After all their faces get blown off, Raven is revealed to be the winner of this first challenge. And keeping with the Gone with the Wind theme, they will be making outfits out of curtains.
I'm going to be flawless with that.
Because Raven is the winner, she gets to pick her curtains first. And she picks these kind of cool zebra pattern ones. Very unique. And then it's a bloodbath for the other curtains amongst the other girls.
Oh, I broke a neck.
One of the more notable storylines that occurs in the workroom is that it's very clear that Shangela, 5 months into drag, has never learned how to sew, and so she sucks up to Pandora, a very seasoned queen who absolutely does know how to sew.
Oh, what are you doing?
I did it. I just pushed the foot pedal.
And the other kind of tension within the workroom is that Mystique Summers, who is the only plus size queen, doesn't find that the curtains or the mannequins that they have to be very plus size friendly. She's very vocal about this. The other girls seem to not believe her, but frankly, the way she talks about it, I do think it's a disadvantage. I don't think they're being very fair to her.
Kind of rude.
We get to know more of the queens as RuPaul walks through.
Oh my goodness, corn?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be using corn?
It is.
One of the things that we learn is that Tyra has a son at home.
We wanted a name from the Bible. My name comes from the Bible, so. Like,
Tyra's in the Bible?
No, not Tyra. James is in the Bible.
Which is not something that you would expect because she's 21.
When she said child, I thought she meant like I have a cat who I call my son.
A son.
Oh my.
We are getting ready for the main stage where Rupaul announces his consistent judges, which are the same judges from last season, Merle Ginsburg and Santino Rice. It's amazing Santino still wanted to come back after that berating from Chanel in the reunion last year.
Would you hug her too? No. So Chanel, no hug from you?
The guest judges are Mike Ruiz, who did their photo shoot, as well as Kathy Griffin. Well, that's a fun guest. We're already at a better place than last season, where I hardly knew any of the guest judges, to be quite frank. Now let's get into the runway. Also, I'm gonna try to showcase the runways in a different way. Last time, I tried making it the full thing and just having my face off to the side. But YouTube copyrights did not like that very much, even though it was just the same 2-second clip on repeat constantly.
Felt rude.
So instead, I'm probably gonna make it smaller, so I'm sorry. I wanted it to be the main thing, but I guess you have to have my face as the main thing. Anyway, so I think Tyra's dress is made very well, but it's not really my personal style, to be quite frank. Something about the colors, something about the, I don't know, it feels like a little bunchy, but it's made very well. I think Raven's is interesting. It certainly looks different from the other girls because of the fabrics that she made. It's very simple. I feel like what makes it unique is the fabric. It's not like how she made it, you know? I think Kylie's looks really cool. I really like the bow that's on it. It's a cool look. I think she did a good job. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of Juju's. I really hate this hair, and she brings it out again. And I just think that's a mistake. You can tell she likes the hair, but I don't. I don't like the collar. I don't like the length of the dress. I don't know, it's not my favorite. I would say Tatiana's dress is very much my style, but I'm surprised she doesn't get red for it being too simple.
I see Rue's teeth glowing at me.
I actually like Sahara's. I like the colors. I think the bow is cute. I don't know. I think it's cute.
Sue me.
Shangela's is something else. This is an infamous look.
There's corn hanging from her hand.
It does not fit very well. Okay, I think Jessica's is fierce. I love hers so much. This is my number one personally, is Jessica's. I think Morgan looks really good. Her top looks really nice. It's very well constructed, and I think it just flatters her body really well. Mystique's look is not great, but she did do the splits.
I'm pulling out every single trick that I have in the bag.
I actually kind of like Nicole's. I like the pop of color. I can't tell with some of these girls because they're all just kind of brown curtains. And so whenever there's any type of color, I'm like, ooh, I like that one. Because I don't like the beige, you know? And then finally, Pandora is wearing her look with her Kathy Griffin hair in front of Kathy Griffin. Otherwise, I don't really care for it. I don't think it looks that great. So the people who are announced safe are Jujubee, Tatiana, Raven, Kylie, Jessica, and Nicole. And I must say, Jessica was robbed. She deserved that top placement. The tops are Tyra, which the judges go in about her being kind of safe, and they want her to have like more fun with it, but they still liked it, I guess. Morgan is also a part of the tops, and they say that she looks like Cher. And then they also have Pandora in the top, which I disagree with. I don't think that look deserved to be in the top, but I think they just wanted to have her talk to Kathy Griffin. which I guess is fair. But Jessica deserved to be in that top instead, I'm just saying. The bottoms are Shangela, which, duh, that fit looked horrendous. Mystique, because also her dress looked horrendous, but she does really impress the judges with her personality. And then finally, Sahara is in the bottom for not looking draggy enough, which I disagree with. I think her looks look better than Pandora personally. Honestly, this round of critiques were kind of confusing. I felt like they were criticizing the people in the top and complimenting people in the bottom. It was all very confusing in my opinion. But that's also kind of par for the course of Drag Race, especially like the first episode. Meanwhile, on Untucked, because we can actually talk about Untucked this season. For the record, I don't really know how to access Untucked, at least for like the first 8 seasons of the show. It's not on Paramount. I think it's on Rupaul Presents, but even then I couldn't really find it. And I don't really want to pay for it because like, I don't even like Untucked that much. Listen, I feel like the most iconic parts of the show come from Untucked. I will say that. However, it's like 10% of Untucked. The rest of it I really don't care about. But it's so important that I feel like I need to include it, you know. Oh. So I will say thank you to YouTube user Shannon and Eric Reactions. Because that's essentially how I consumed Untucked for this season. Because they have a best of compilation, and so that's where I took clips from and how I tried to follow the plot of Untucked. So I'll be honest, I don't really know what's going on super well, but you can kind of piece it together just based off of the best of. So that's what I did.
Anyway,
let's get into what happened in Untucked. Basically, aside from Nicole Paige Brooks just being the icon that she is.
If I fall down on the ground, you get an ambulance, bitch. Something's wrong.
Most of the drama just surrounds how most of the girls think that Mystique should go home this week. They're really not impressed by her. Eventually, this accumulates in a fight between Mystique and Morgan, where honestly, they say some of the most iconic lines in all of Drag Race during this.
I don't start drama, I end it.
You piss me off some more, I will whoop your bitch. I am from Chicago.
She's in my mug. In my go fix your hair. Fix your mug.
I don't need to fix my mug, bitch.
Honey, you do need to fix your mug. You're not worth it. Let me walk off.
I'm from Chicago. I'm not. I'm from Illinois, but I'm not from Chicago. To be honest, I don't know how it got started, but I'm glad it happened because season 1 had like no fights, and we already have one fight off the bat this season. God, season 1 was so boring. Back on the main stage, Rupaul announces that Morgan is the winner. And I kind of agree, out of like the top 3 that they did have, I would give Morgan the win, though I do think Jessica should be there. It is also revealed that she has immunity for the next week. And just assume that until I say that immunity stops, that each queen has immunity after they win the challenge. I know I'm gonna forget to say that after each time, so just assume that. Rue then announces that Shangela and Sahara are in the bottom 2 together, which honestly, I think as soon as they started screaming after they saw each other for the first time, I think they knew this is what they wanted to happen. Because I don't think Sahara was even close to being in the bottom 2, personally. So I think this is just what they wanted. I think as soon as they saw how horrible Shangela's dress was, they were like, oh, Sahara. They tell Mystique that basically her personality saved her, but again, I think they just wanted Shangela and Sahara together in the bottom 2. So the lip sync between the 2 is on the messy side.
bass in your walk, head to toe.
You know, Shangela takes her skirt off. Sahara starts to take her shoes off.
Another one way, another payday. Cover girl, put the bass in your walk, head to toe.
Like Mortal Kombat.
But I will say, they pull out some really good moves. You can tell that they're both really good dancers.
Talk, walk, now walk, walk, now walk, and what?
But in the end, Sahara does end up winning the lip sync, which I think is the correct choice.
Shantae, you stay.
And so that means that Shangela sachets away. I'm not going to get into Shangela more than what we did at the beginning of the disclaimer, so unfortunately though, she does return and will return quite soon. So we'll navigate that as it comes.
Oh my god, I'm in a group with like Satan's baby.
Now for episode 2, where we are at the top 11. Their mini challenge, I think, is quite fun. They are turning Rupaul dolls that are very prim and proper, and they're turning them into tramps.
Is that a skirt?
It's a skirt.
They have to make them look crazy.
They're doing it in pairs, but there's an odd number, so one person has to do it alone. I think that was a weird choice. Why wouldn't they just do this when there was even numbers? I don't know. Mystique ends up being the one that is by herself, and then the other pairs are Juju and Tyra, Sahara and Pandora, Nicole and Kylie, Morgan and Raven, and Tatiana and Jessica. And this is where we start to learn more about Tyra's personality.
My number one goal was to grab the whole plate of fabric.
And we'll learn even more so during the episode. Pandora and Sahara end up winning the challenge.
Our girl is called Shafrifra All.
And so they get to be the team captains for this week's main challenge. They are going to be burlesque dancers. So they're on like a pole. They're not stripping, but they're kind of close. I think this is one of the weirder main challenges, and it's not even for this part, to be quite honest. Pandora on her team has Morgan, Kylie, Raven, Tatiana, and Nicole. And Sahara has on her team Jessica, Jujubee, Tyra, and Mystique. Nicole was the one who was ultimately picked last, which, as much as I love Nicole, I do understand why.
Nicole was left last because this is a sexy contest and she's not sexy.
For their challenge, they have to make burlesque outfits, perform, and eventually, though they don't tell them this up front, they have to go on the street and sell gift certificates for cherry pies. That's the part about the challenge that's weird to me.
I don't know what that has to do with being a drag queen.
I'd say the main thing that's going on in this episode is that Tyra is proving to be a really horrible team member.
Can I say something, team captain? Red fabric that you chose?
For a lot of different reasons. First of all, she definitely did not want to be in the group that she was in to begin with.
I wanted to be in Pandora's group. She had all the tall, skinny, pretty bitches.
And she's pretty vocal about that.
Pandora, do you not like me then choosing to be in your group?
Like, she's not afraid to share that opinion. I'm gonna be completely honest. This video is partially like reviewing season 2 of Drag Race, and it's partially just me trying to analyze and understand Tyra. She is, I think, one of the most confusing contestants to ever be on this show, and it fascinates me endlessly. I feel like I could write a dissertation about how she acts on this season. So she's just kind of overall like a really horrible team member, and she just says whatever she wants. One of the things that she starts to talk about is just like how she doesn't want to do the dancing. She deems it slutty.
I feel like a whore slut.
Is that a bad thing?
Yes, that's a bad thing.
But you're a bad girl, remember?
But I'm a bad girl, I'm not a bad slut.
Which, I'll be honest, there's a part of me that, you know, I don't like the idea of forcing sexuality on drag queens. I think some would say that the drag culture is inherently sexual, but I also feel like that's like an alt-right talking point that like overall hurts the LGBT community. And so I don't like it being forced upon the queens, if that makes sense. But I do think that to ignore it and to ignore the history would also be ignorant, you know?
I feel like it's kind of nuanced. But then you've got Tyra over here acting very like holier than thou, like I'm too good to be a slut, which just feels like it contradicts the whole idea behind drag, where it's like being out there and like being your inherent self. Like you're not holier than thou, you're just like being you. And so by kind of acting that way, it feels like it really contradicts like what being a drag queen means. And so that feels kind of hypocritical. I don't know. Tyra is just like she's so confusing.
I don't know.
And I don't know if I'll be able to like articulate this in the best way, but it's kind of like the way that she talks. It feels like she has a very rigid way of thinking, and almost like she has like these rules for herself of what she can and cannot do. And so she can't wrap her head around like not doing what she wants.
But sometimes he just kind of wants to do what Tyra wants to do.
The pressure match the shoe.
No, it shouldn't match the shoes, Diva.
But there's something, and I'm endlessly fascinated by it, trying to figure it out. And you know, like she talks about her home life, and it feels like maybe it comes from like just trauma. I don't know. This will be an ongoing conversation with the two of us, you know? What's going on with Tyra?
Anyway.
She also just refuses to like rehearse the dances with the other girls.
I'm just sitting back. I'm putting everything together in my head. I'm saying, okay, girl, do this and do that. Like if they ask me now, girl, do the routine, I'll do it and I'll do it right what they do.
Which like obviously worries them. The other team really, the main thing that's happening is that Pandora isn't much of a leader, which makes sense. She's not like the loudest of the group that she has. Morgan kind of just ends up taking over for her. But then we go back to the train wreck that's Tyra.
Oh my god, I'm in a group with like Satan's baby.
Personally, I think Sahara is a pretty good leader, like despite Tyra. It seems like the other girls respect her, and she's like being very like conscious with the decisions that she's making. But then like Rupaul is like walking throughout the workroom, and like she's talking to Sahara, and Tyra's just over on the couch taking a nap.
So you're okay that one of your team members is over there sleeping?
And so then Rupaul has to go over and
Don't wake her up.
She'll scream.
Wake Tyra up from her nap. It's very bizarre. And I guess the only other thing is like there's a little fabric malfunction between the two groups, but it blows over like pretty quickly.
Sorry you misunderstood. No, there's no misunderstanding. I have ears and they hear very well.
Again, it's mostly just Tyra that's causing the drama for this episode. So Rupaul reveals that they are going to have two ways of making money, and that is through their burlesque dancing show, as well as selling cherry pies.
You want to taste the cherry pie?
And he also talks about how the results of this challenge doesn't necessarily come up from the performance themselves, but it comes from whoever makes the most money. So the team that makes the most money will be safe. And then whoever made the most money is going to be the winner of the challenge. So they go off, they kind of split up who does the burlesque show and then who sells the cherry pies, and then they switch over. And I gotta say that this cherry pie thing, it just feels like a humiliation ritual, in my opinion.
Does anybody want cherry pie? Anybody? Bueller?
Please help me.
I feel like no one really does that well, and I can't blame them.
Selling cherry pie, come and get it.
Because if I saw a bunch of drag queens just with like cherry pie tickets, I'd be a little scared.
I don't like to carry myself like that. I'm sweet in the streets and, you know, a freak in the sheets.
I also don't like cherry pie, so like I wouldn't buy one, you know? If it was apple pie, I would. So for the performance, when Team Pandora comes on, I think Kylie and Morgan definitely did the best out of the group. I will say that I think Pandora did a lot better than what I was expecting. I feel like she doesn't inherently give off like sexy vibes, but I don't think she did that bad. I will say that Nicole did awful.
Nicole was having difficulty with the choreography.
There's just a way that she moves that's like, that quite frankly kind of reminds me of myself. Meanwhile, Team Sahara, honestly, I think they all did pretty great. I think they did a pretty good routine together, and I think they all did really well for their solos. Like Tyra really stepped it up for someone who was not rehearsing with any of them and refused to dance in practice at all. She kind of killed it, I'm not gonna lie. So if I'm Team Pandora, I'd be kind of scared. But at the end of the day, the queens are kind of nervous for the actual results because they really have no idea how the other queens performed. Like they just kind of don't know what to think. The guest judges for this episode are Kim Coles and Dita Von Teese. Dita Von Teese, that's a really good get, especially for this challenge. Their runway is high class drag. I think Kylie looks really good. I love her hair and I love her dress. I think they both just look stunning. Jessica's look is a lot. There's things about it that I like the color, but it definitely needs some editing. Raven just has this simple black dress on, but it honestly looks really good. Like she styled it really, really well, and I think that it's a really good look. I love Sahara's dress. I think her color looks stunning on her. I don't love Pandora's dress. I hate the pattern. The pattern looks really bad to me. I do like Juju's dress. There's something about the hair I don't love on it. I almost wish it was more of an updo. Something about like it being down and really flat I don't think works entirely. But I think the dress is really pretty. There's something about Nicole's look that I don't love. Again, I think it's the hair. I think it's too flat for me. And I don't know, I think with the dress being black, it's hard to see all the like intricacies to it. And so it's not as like stunning as I think it would be if I could kind of see the different things that were a part of it. But I don't know, there's just something about it I don't love. I think Mystique looks so much better than she did the last episode. I actually really love this dress. I think it's lovely on her. Morgan is going for an executive realness look. I actually think it looks really, really good. I love like the red pops within like the black and white. I think that looks really nice. I also think it's like super unique from what everyone else did too. I think that looks really cool. Tyra looks really great. I love the hair on her. I think that looks really good. I'm not the biggest fan of the dress, but I think it's a really nice look overall. I think Tatiana has a really cute dress on too. I think she looks really good in that. I love the color. When they're getting their results, it is revealed that Sahara's team made the most money, and so they are all safe. And Rupaul reveals that Sahara herself is the winner, having made the most money off her team, which I think is very fitting. I think she was a great leader too, so I'm glad she won that challenge. So this means that Pandora's team is up for elimination. They go one by one of how they think that the queens did. The judges acknowledge they don't love Pandora's look, but she did fine in the actual challenge. They think Kylie did really well on stage, but they recognize that she didn't do quite as well with the cherry pie street thing, which I don't think should matter all that much, to be quite honest. Why were they selling cherry pies in the first place? They comment on how awkward Nicole was.
I know it's not right, and I apologize to all of Atlanta.
Tatiana got praised for her performance on the challenge. Rue tells Raven that she really didn't make a lot of money.
I realized it didn't rain. It was meant to buy a nice dinner at the Sizzler or something.
I feel like going into the challenge, that's kind of surprising, but I don't know. I think it has something to do with the way that Raven kind of doesn't have like the most energy when doing things, you know? And Morgan has immunity, so why bother really commenting on her, really? Rue then asks all the girls who they think should go home. Tatiana says Morgan because she has immunity, which is kind of a cop-out answer, and RuPaul does not like cop-out answers. Meanwhile, Nicole says everyone should go home, which is an iconic answer. Morgan says that she thinks Tatiana should go home because she was the weakest person in the group, and Raven also says Tatiana because she lacks star power.
I think she's comfortable being a beautiful girl.
No.
Meanwhile, in Untalk, there's kind of a continued tiff of this thing on the main stage between Raven and Morgan and Tatiana. Personally, I think that they see that Tatiana is very young and new and maybe isn't as confident as the two of them are. And so I feel like they just gang up on that because they feel like they can, which I really don't love. I personally love Tatiana. I think she's kind of like the main character of this season, to be quite honest. I think she's the most relatable, but we'll see as we move on. I think you'll be able to tell that I'm a Tatiana fan.
Anyway.
And the other stuff that's going on is Tyra is still like complaining about her group.
I don't care. Call me a bitch as long as you put a miss before it.
Miss Bitch.
Thank you.
You're welcome, diva.
And complaining about Sahara, even though they already won.
I'm happy that we won. I'm just glad that we're not in the group anymore. I'm praying that we're not in the group for the next challenge.
Me
not
too.
This
Me
group.
too.
Hallelujah.
Like, girl, we can slow it down. Like, you don't need to keep going with this. You won.
Like a mute.
But you are.
If you ask me a question, I'm answering. If I was a mute, I would look at you and like, bitch, don't talk to me.
Clearly, Sahara was doing something right. She won the challenge. During the deliberations, RuPaul mentions that Raven and Nicole were the two who made the least amount of money. And while I think Tatiana kind of gave them a run to consider putting her in the bottom two instead of Raven, because Raven really impressed them on like the actual main stage of the show, I think ultimately RuPaul took the fact that Raven and Nicole made the least amount of money and chose for them to be in the bottom two. They saved Tatiana, and Raven and Nicole will lip sync for their lives.
No, it's time for a breakdown.
Never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it. Whoa, you're never gonna get it, 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 never gonna get it.
This is honestly an iconic lip sync of Raven. She does a great job with this. She's so funny, she's so campy. I think Nicole did fine, but I mean, Raven just kills it. Like, your eyes are just on her the entire time. So Raven clearly wins the lip sync, and Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia goes home. What is it with my meme queens leaving the second episode? First Tammy Brown, now Nicole Paige Brooks. How dare Drag Race do this to me? Nicole still does drag, and she is the season 2 girl who was on the most recent season of All Stars, which was All Stars 10. I would say, especially after that appearance, she's really endeared herself to the fandom. Again, she's kind of like a meme queen in a way, which I view in an endearing way. I love Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
I went with how my friends back home dress as since their country.
So now on episode 3, we're on the top 10. And this is perhaps the strangest mini challenge they've ever had on the show. They are tasked with eating something and declaring whether or not what they ate was chicken or what. They do this. There's a 3-way tie between Pandora, Mystique, and Morgan. And the tiebreaker is that they have to eat a bucket of various meats in the fastest amount of time.
Mystique wins, and Morgan gets second, meaning that they will be the team captains of this next main challenge. For the main challenge, they are shooting commercials for Disco's Disco Extra Crispy Shortening, where they will be portraying country characters. Which I must say, how dare they do a country episode, the episode after Nicole Paige Brooks left.
Anyway.
While they're choosing their teams, Tyra is picked last, which makes a lot of sense considering how she acted in the last team challenge. Frankly, I feel like Tyra can't even be upset about that. So Mystique's team consists of her, Pandora, Jujubee, Tatiana, and Jessica. And Morgan's team consists of her, Raven, Sahara, Kylie, and Tyra. They start to pick their roles to be in the commercial. Basically, both commercials have the same characters, just slightly different scripts. And both roles have a chicken. Raven gets chosen to be the chicken because Morgan says that she's the best makeup artist and could make the chicken work. But it's very clear that Raven is very pissed off about being a chicken. Meanwhile, on Mystique's team, she chooses Jessica to be the chicken because basically they acknowledge that Jessica definitely has a language barrier compared to the other girls. And so instead of having to listen to the full script and have to respond to other people, Mystique wanted her to be the chicken, who's just kind of like a single entity. However, we learned that the chicken has a lot more lines than I think they were anticipating, and so that's a little hard on Jessica as well.
The chicken talk a lot. Welcome to another home frying meal.
Honestly, as we're going through this, I'm kind of impressed by Mystique as a leader. Like, I feel like picking Jessica as the chicken was a little questionable, but as we're moving forward, it feels like Mystique is really trying to pay attention to her team members and making sure that they're doing what they need to do and helping them out with things. I don't know. It really makes me kind of pissed off because like Raven and Morgan and that kind of crew keep like making fun of Mystique. I think solely because of her weight. Like it feels like they think that they can get away with it. And I feel like the only reason why they think that is because of her weight, which just feels gross to me. Like the way they talk about Mystique, it's really gross to me. So Rue goes around and he has each of the groups do a little table read for him. He listens in on Morgan's group first, and honestly, they kind of kill it. And then he goes over to Mystique's team and they clearly don't know the words quite as well.
McAllister. Every Hatfield woman does. Another line. Ain't that right, Granny? That's right. We all love this.
But it doesn't really matter because he makes them just switch scripts just because he feels like it. I think that's kind of cruel to Jessica. She's already got a language barrier. Now you're making her learn another script? Come on. Not that the scripts were really that different to begin with. During filming, I think Mystique's group actually does like a really good job. I think Jessica kills it as the chicken.
I'm going to feel that I am a pollo, so the chicken interferes.
And I think any criticism of her comes from just making fun of her accent.
Hi, welcome to another home fried meal, courtesy of Disco Extra Greasy Shortening.
So I think she killed it. Honestly, I think they all do well. Mystique definitely does the worst. She clearly has some trouble with her lines and some of the directions that she's been given. Otherwise, I think her group did pretty well. Meanwhile, Morgan's group, Raven is flopping as the chicken.
I think I could sell ice to an Eskimo, but not dressed as a chicken.
You can tell that she just really dislikes being the chicken. And it's also dislikes the guest judge who's the director and her directions, you know? Sahara's being a little much. Well, she's just a theater girl. Honestly, I think this team was much worse than the others. Morgan and Kylie were okay. Though I will say in the final cut, I think Kylie did a lot worse. Really only Tyra did well. And the director loved Tyra.
Okay, baby, don't change a thing.
She loved the fact that Tyra had like a deep voice as a baby, which I will admit is kind of funny. I get it. And I think Tyra did a really good job too. I can't lie. So the guest judges are Tanya Tucker, who's a country singer, and Kathy Najimy, who she was their director. She's like a comedian, I guess. For the runway, they're doing country couture. Kylie looks great. She looks really hot. She's got this like leather cowgirl energy going on. It looks great. It looks great on her. I think Juju looks really cute, but I will say I think in comparison to a lot of the other looks that are on the stage, it's just a little simple for me. But she looks really cute, don't get me wrong. Oh my gosh, Raven looks so cute. I love Raven's look. That might be my favorite one of this runway. I don't know. It's very much like my style of country. That's what I would wear, you know, if I was a country gal, which I'm not. I think Sahara also looks really cute. It's also really simple, but I really like her boots and I like the denim that she has on, so it's like a little bit better than Jujubee's, in my opinion. I think Tatiana looks cute as well. You're gonna hear me say that I think all of these are cute. Maybe it's just because I like plaid.
But anyway.
She's definitely not as like country, but she did mention that she's kind of doing like an urban country twist. And I think it really works. I think it's kind of unique, but it looks really good too. I also think Pandora's is really cute. I personally love her jeans. She said that she like added the little country girls to it. And I think that's really cute. Jessica looks snatched. Oh, she looks so good. Like the way that she made her body for it. Oh, so good, so good. I love the jeans and I love the plaid, the belt and the hat. It all looks super good together. And now the look heard around the world, Mystique. This is such an infamous look. We'll get more into what they're all saying about it. I think Morgan's look is really interesting. It's definitely more like country music singer, but I think it kind of works for the prompt. I think it looks cute. And then Tyra does like a 3-in-1 look. I'll say this, I think now that these kind of look reveals and like 3-in-1, 2-in-1 looks are a little more common in Drag Race, this really doesn't look that impressive. Like, I don't love the styling of it all, but at the time, it was a really impressive look because people weren't really doing that on Drag Race. So you gotta give it that, but it's not my favorite, personally. So they watch all of their commercials. I think when actually watching the commercials as opposed to seeing them just kind of act in it, I think Mystique's commercial was the best one.
Granny McCoy's famous fried chicken.
I thought they all worked really well together, and I couldn't tell while watching it that Mystique was struggling. But with that, I think like they all did well. I don't really think there was like a standout because they were all doing well. Like I think Pandora, Juju, and Jessica definitely did like the best of the group. But again, they were all doing well enough that I don't really think there was a standout. Like it was just kind of a solid commercial in my opinion. Meanwhile, Morgan's commercial, I think they all flopped, except for Tyra. I think Tyra was clearly the only one that was doing well, and it also made Tyra look like really good in the commercial. Raven was so creepy. That chicken was so creepy.
Add some crispy to your fried fish fillet with Disco extra greasy shortening. Cock-a-doodle-doo!
That's like a stuff of nightmares right there. And honestly, while watching it, Kylie was really bad. Kylie was not good in it. I thought Sahara would look worse in the commercial, but again, she's just a theater kid. Usually, at some point, it comes across well enough. So I think I'd give Sahara a pass, but I think Kylie did not do well, and Raven was just so creepy.
Anyway.
Ru does announce, though, that they're going to be judging it individually instead of within teams.
I just want to pee everywhere, just soak myself.
I do think that if you were going to judge it in teams, Mystique's group would have won. I think you could have given it the win to Pandora, Juju, Jessica even. Mystique for being the leader, though I don't think she was the best within the group in the commercial. And then if I had to pick a bottom two, if like we were saying that team won and the other team lost, then I put Raven and Kylie in the bottom two. Basically, it's announced that Kylie, Juju, Morgan, Tatiana, and Tahara are all safe, which means that the tops are Jessica, who they really commend working through her language struggle, and she's just so charming.
I love my character because I love the Muppet, so I feel like I am a Muppet.
She really is. I love Jessica. She's great. They put Pandora in the top. She said that she did really well in the challenge. Santino is a fashion hater, though. He did not like her look, which I disagree with. I think her look was pretty good. I don't love most of Pandora's looks this season, but I think if you were gonna give her a pass on the fashion, this would have been the episode to do so. That's just my opinion. And then Tyra is applauded for her 3-in-1 look as well as her baby performance, which in hindsight, I do think that the baby performance was the best of just like the entire group. But now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if I just think it's the best because she was in a group that was really bad. Whereas like Pandora and Jessica were in a group that was really good. And so it didn't seem as obvious like how good they did in the challenge.
Anyway.
The bottoms are Raven, and they say that Raven just playing a chicken too seriously. She was also creepy. And Mystique is also in the bottom. They don't really talk about her challenge performance all that much. They just really read her for her look. And this is where kind of the infamous, this is where country girls dress where I'm from comes from.
I went with how my friends back home dress since they're country.
Oh. I think it was a much bigger deal back then that like made the other girls upset. Now I think it's just kind of campy. Like the whole idea of like, yeah, I wear this because this is what country girls actually wear. Meanwhile, I think it's mostly just because she didn't have the right outfit for it. And so she's just trying to spin it in a way that makes sense, you know? It didn't work though. It didn't work. So in Untucked, honestly, it's just the girls really, really digging in on Mystique even more. Especially for that outfit. They really didn't like how she justified it, you know?
What would you do if Mystique came up here and was like, I won the challenge?
I would just congratulate.
I would pee.
Tatiana's getting a little sick of it. So thank you, Tatiana, for trying to slow down the hate train.
Think that I'm a doormat. Think it. And then when you find out about me a little bit more down the road, think what you want.
Do you feel bad for Mystique? I don't think it's fair how they were talking about her. When they come back, it's revealed that Tyra is the winner of the challenge.
Because last week they were making me out to be a bitch of the group. And I'm not a bitch. I'm America's sweetheart.
Personally, I think they should have given it to Pandora. And I'm not just saying that because I know that she doesn't win any other challenge. Spoiler. I think her look was cute and Santino is just being a hater. But Tyra also did really well in the challenge. So like, it is what it is. They announced that Raven and Mystique are in the bottom, and this is Raven's second time to lip sync for her life. They do a cute little country lip sync.
You went away and left me long ago, and now you're knocking on my door. I hear you knocking.
And Raven again just kind of kills it. She's just like really cute and kind of campy, I would say. I don't think Mystique necessarily does bad, but again, your eyes just go straight to Raven while you're watching this performance.
Telling me all your lies, I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, go back where you've been.
And so it's hard to say that she didn't win the lip sync, you know? So Raven stays and Mystique goes home. Mystique still does drag, and she is actively still promoting her shows on her Instagram. She has expressed wanting to go on All Stars someday, but she has not gotten that called yet. And personally, I would be really interested in seeing like an updated Mystique. Especially, I think they treated her really poorly on this season. And so I want them to give her another chance. Let's do it, WoW Presents. Give Mystique another chance. Because I know you're watching this. Although part of me hopes that you aren't, because you might copyright me.
Anyway.
I got lost. You got lost? I lost. Am I wrong?
So we are on episode 4 on the top 9. I'm already at like an hour mark of filming this. Who knows? I might need to split this up into 2 videos. I really don't know. I'd say this episode kind of opens up with more of Kylie talking. And the show really does show her in a negative light this season. Like she comes off as not the most pleasant person. But we'll learn the reason for that later on. Their mini challenge is basically just The Price is Right. And the winner gets to have a phone call from home, which that's very nice. I'll say for the record, I would be really bad at The Price is Right. And that's because I take the price of things very much at face value. I can't remember how much other things cost. And so if you tell me something costs this much, I just go, all right, here you go. So they do this in rounds, and in the last round it is Raven, Jessica, and Kylie because they were the ones that won their original round. And Raven wins and gets to have a phone call from home. This is a very good win for Raven because she's been in the bottom 2 for the past 2 weeks and she needed a win.
Congratulations, Raven, the queen!
Okay, these bitches better watch it.
And then it's announced it's their first Snatch game! I personally love the Snatch game. I hear people say all the time that they think they should get rid of Snatch game. I disagree. I think that the queens nowadays just need to get better at it. They've gotten really bad. They need to practice at the Snatch game. Because I think when it's good, it's really good. Come on. I do think this is a really interesting Snatch game to watch, especially after watching like so many others, because it's very much like they don't know what the challenge really is at this stage in the show. You can tell that they find it to be a lot more like trying to look like someone, like that sort of impersonation, as opposed to like an improv challenge where they need to be funny. Like it's a lot less about making sure you have a true impersonation of someone, and it's more about like trying to get people to laugh from your improv, you know? And so we start to see like who the other contestants are choosing to be for the Snatch game.
Carol Channing?
Carol Channing.
Yay!
One of the original things that happens is that Morgan and Kylie are both fighting over who to be pink. And Morgan's a lot more aggressive, and so she gets to be pink. Kylie's Lady Gaga. This is also the episode where we're introduced to Tyra's obsession with Beyonce.
Beyonce is sort of just like me.
I'm gonna say this is like an ongoing through line of the show, and it's one of my favorite ongoing through lines. Personally, I think that the reason why Tyra became a drag queen is so she could be like more like Beyonce. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why she went on Drag Race to begin with is because Michelle Williams was a guest judge last season, and they used a lot of Beyonce songs last season too. So I kind of think that might be why Tyra even became a drag queen. So Rue's walking through, she's talking to all the girls.
What does Brittany do? Chew gum?
Trying to figure out more about their impersonations. She's giving her own little opinions. I will say, RuPaul is a lot more awkward than what I remember her to be.
Blending.
Yes, girl.
It's severe up in here.
Though one of the funniest things to occur is that Jessica decides that the person she's impersonating is RuPaul.
I'm gonna be the supermodel of the world, RuPaul. You better work, bitch.
We get into the snatch game. The impersonations that the girls are doing are Pandora is Carol Channing.
Carol Channing is here. It's great to be here wherever I am.
Or Cheryl Canning.
Cheryl Canning, she looked great. Cheryl Canning. What did I say? You said Cheryl Canning, but it's Carol Channing. It's Cheryl Canning. That's her name. Say it again. Is it not right?
It's a classically funny impression.
Scurvy. I'm the national spokesperson for Broadway Actresses Against Scurvy. We deliver limes and lemons to all the people around in the neighborhood. And raspberry.
It's a really good one.
Embarrassed.
Are you embarrassed?
I'm a little embarrassed because I just wrote, I've got a lovely bunch of coconut.
Pandora kind of kills it with every single answer. It's very funny.
Bingo. Did I win?
No. We have Morgan as Pink. She looks like Pink. She's not funny though.
I've never seen you on a game show before. Is this your first one?
This is not my first one, but it's my first game show.
Jujubee is Kimora Lee Simmons.
Simmons, now I know that you're not Simmons anymore.
We don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about that.
It's personal.
I think what Juju has going for her is that she's just a very natural, funny person.
Where do you get your sense of humor from?
My father passing away.
But I don't know, this impression didn't really do much for me, to be quite honest. But I think Juju's just funny in all of her deliveries. It doesn't really matter what she does. Kylie is Lady Gaga, which is by far the least memorable performance in this Snatch game.
Look at your poker face, darling.
Trust.
I feel like she's only said like 3 things that they showed. Jessica is RuPaul, like I said.
RuPaul. Miss RuPaul. Oh, hello, darling. How are you?
And listen, this is camp. This is high camp right here.
Okay. Oh, she's okay. Come now for you to lip sync for your life.
She's doing a drag performance of a drag queen. Like I think that's iconic. Like she somehow managed to drag up a drag queen, which I think is exactly what you need to do if you're impersonating a drag queen, in my opinion. Raven is Paris Hilton.
All right, Paris Hilton is here. You have shoes.
I didn't know that I had shoes.
Which I think that's just a good person to choose for a Snatch game. It's very hard not to make Paris Hilton funny. It's kind of a safe pick, but it's kind of like a duh pick. Like some of these girls, it's not a safe pick, but I don't think they realize that it's not. I don't know. I don't think Raven really like elevated it into any sort of way, but like she does a good job because Paris herself is funny. Tatiana is Britney Spears.
Favorite game?
Oh goodness, I like playing Hide the Cucumber.
And this is an iconic performance as well.
Good answer.
When I was fat,
yeah,
Kevin liked to tip me in what he liked to call his man butter.
It's so funny. I think it's one of my favorites of all time.
Britney, dumb Dee Dee's so dumb. Last night she got arrested for driving without a
baby in her lap.
A baby.
I'd say that what Tatiana does really well is I think she improvs super well.
I got
lost.
You got lost?
Lost. Am I wrong?
Like she plays off the other girls and RuPaul really well as Britney. And then finally we have Tyra, who is Beyonce.
Hi, how are you?
Beyonce's just like me. All I had to do is just be myself, like just smile, say nice things.
Thank you for having me.
And it's a good thing that Tyra has immunity. I think what gets me about this is Tyra truly thinks that she just is like Beyonce. And so I think to her, she thinks that she doesn't need to do an impersonation because Beyonce and her are just like interchangeable. Why would she need to do anything differently? She is Beyonce.
She's unhinged.
Overall, Pandora and Tatiana definitely do the best. And it's not even close with the other girls, to be honest. Like, I think there are other girls that did well, but when you're thinking about who's gonna win, it's it's always just been between Tatiana and Pandora. And it's kind of a thing where I'm perfectly happy with either one of them winning the challenge, you know? I do think that Tatiana's improv was better, if that makes sense. And so I think that's what I would give the edge to Tatiana. But again, they both did a super great job. And then I think personally, I would give the third place spot to Jessica, just because I think that was just high camp right there. I loved it. As far as who I think did the worst, I think Morgan clearly did the worst. She was just not funny at all. And then, you know, even with how poorly Tyra did, I think Kylie did do the second worst, if I'm being honest. Like, I think even if Tyra didn't have immunity, I would still put Morgan and Kylie in the bottom too. I feel like Tyra at least tried.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
To Brittany and Whitney.
Yes.
I noticed they keep twitching. And I know that they're survivors, but the only way they're gonna keep surviving is they stop sniffing these markers.
The other two, I just feel like didn't try. Like they just thought that they could sit there looking like the person and it would just pass them through to the next round. Tyra at least like was acting like herself because she thought that's how Beyonce acted. But don't get it twisted, she was definitely the third worst. Oh, I even skipped through this. I'm so sorry, Sahara. Sahara was Whitney Houston.
I am so excited to be with all these lovely divas. Yes, ma'am, but let's not forget, I am the original diva.
Yes, you are.
Hers was pretty forgettable too, but it was like, she was at least doing an impression. The other three weren't doing an impression. So I always think of Sahara's Whitney being like the fourth worst. But again, it's mostly because she's just not memorable, but she was at least doing an impression. Before they get on the main stage and they're getting ready, Tyra expresses that she thinks she did a great job at her Beyonce.
I don't know why Tyra was asking if anyone's ever won 2 challenges in a row.
Because she's totally not gonna win.
Which truly just solidifies her being a delusional person, you know? She takes Beyonce so seriously.
The only thing she's done funny is fall.
Well, that's funny to you, and that's crude.
It's kind of incredible.
I was insulting to Beyonce. This is something that she may have been embarrassed about.
Like, she truly feels like she knows Beyonce and
She believes that she's Beyonce. And she doesn't want to hurt Beyonce's feelings because somehow Beyonce pays her bills.
she's a close personal friend of hers, and it's kind of a sight. I don't know how to describe it. The guest judges for this episode are Niecy Nash and Lisa Rinna. Ooh. The runway is their own personal style. I think Pandora's dress is prettier than it usually is. It's very sparkly. I hope that Santino appreciates her effort towards glamour. I don't think he will. Tyra's outfit just looks great. Like, it's a really good look on her. I love the hat. She also sucks up to Santino and her bags say Santino, so... But that's kind of what Tyra does. She's a suck up. I do love this look from Morgan, like this circus look. I think it's really cute. It's a cool concept. I love and hate Juju's look. I don't know how to feel about it. I think in comparison to others, it's not my favorite. Kylie looks great in her tiger stripes. It's a very sexy look. I don't think this is the best look from Tatiana. It's a little trampy. It's a little too short. I love her, but it's not the best. Jessica's look is also a bit busy. It's not my favorite, but it's Jessica's style, if I'm being honest. I love Raven's look. I think that's a really cool dress. I love the red underlining and the black and white. I think it looks really nice. It's really good. And I think this is a really cool look from Sahara too. It's very different from what she normally does, and I really like it. It definitely shows a different side to her, you know? When they announce who is safe or not, they do it with a game of heel or no heel. Tyra, Raven, Jessica, and Sahara are all safe. And Raven is very happy to be safe because she was in the bottom for the past 2 weeks. The tops are, surprise, surprise, Pandora and Tatiana. Basically, they give both of them praise for their Snatch game. They think Pandora was just super funny, super campy, and they thought Tatiana was also super funny and also eerily accurate to Britney Spears. They didn't love Tatiana's look though. I will say, so Juju is also in this like judging, and I think she's in the top, but when they're critiquing her, they only show like the negative critiques that they give to her. It's kind of confusing. It made me think that maybe she was in the bottom, but she's definitely not the third worst there. So I think she was in the top, but really I think this is just them trying to like light more of a fire on Jujubee. Like, come on girl, we know you can give us more type of thing. I don't know. I was a little confused by it. The bottoms, though, were clearly Kylie and Morgan. Basically, they told Morgan that they didn't think her pink was draggy enough. And Morgan kind of gives like a little cop-out of an answer saying, like, I knew it was a risk. When it's like, no, she clearly thought that she could do pink and she's just an excuse. But that's just my opinion. And Kylie, they just say that she wasn't funny. And they think that she's hiding herself. She's also wearing a mask in her outfit, like she's got to reveal the mask. And again, we'll learn more about this later. It's kind of a fitting storyline in my opinion. Meanwhile, on Untucked, the other girls are just hating on Tatiana behind her back while she's getting critiques. Specifically, Tyra was insulted by her Britney.
She wasn't imitating Britney, she was imitating someone that makes fun of Britney.
Because she felt like Tatiana was making fun of Britney. How dare she? Raven really just goes off on everyone.
Nicole's voice and laugh was like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. Like, just seeing her, I was like, ugh, she just grossed me out.
And you'll see that this becomes a through line of Untucked, where Raven just has her kind of daily trash everyone you possibly can sessions. And she goes off about the people in the top. She goes off about the people who've already gone home. She just goes off on anyone that she feels like. And I would say that the only other significant thing is that after they come back from their critiques, Tatiana and Kylie get in a little bit of a tiff.
I think you look lovely, but this isn't a beauty contest. It's a drag contest. Absolutely. And I'm in drag.
But we'll see that this doesn't matter for much longer.
I won, and you got sent home.
Spoiler. When they come back, they announce that Tatiana is the winner of the challenge, which I am very happy about because I am a big Tatiana fan. I'm a little sad that Pandora didn't get the win because I think she definitely deserved it as well, but I'm just happy Tatiana can prove these girls wrong. You know, get the win. She tears off because she got the win, and all these other girls are trying to tear her down. You go, Tatiana. And then Kylie and Morgan are in the bottom two. This is a great lip sync. They both do a stellar job, but they do it in very different ways.
I never said I wasn't gonna tell nobody. No, baby, my body's burning, so come on, heed my desire. Come on, come on.
So Kylie really puts in a lot more stunts and tricks while she's performing, which is super impressive.
I need you. I need.
But what Morgan does is that she is very focused on like the lip sync, and she does like a really good job with the actual lip sync and like doing like cute little dances along with it. Ru ultimately chooses Morgan to win, which I think is good because I think it kind of showcases like, hey, focus on the lip sync part, you know, like making sure that it's not just a gymnastics competition. Not that I don't think what Kylie did wasn't impressive. I think it was a good way to set that precedent. And so that means that Kylie goes home. And I would say that Kylie definitely has the most interesting post-season story arc. Though I guess you could say Tyra's is interesting. Kylie's more inspiring. So spoiler alert, which I imagine it's not really a spoiler to most of you because I don't really think most people are only consuming Drag Race through my videos, but she wins season 6 of All Stars, which is super cool because there's not really a lot of all-star winners that like went home early on their season and then they come on and like really kill all-stars and they get the win. And so I think that's a really cool storyline for Kylie. She's also the first person to be crowned as an openly trans woman. And that's also like just super awesome. I find her arc just super interesting, especially since like her kind of criticism is being like closed off and kind of negative. And then she finds herself, she reveals that she is a trans woman and she's able to like really open up and be herself and just be more of a light in the world. I think that's a really cool storyline. We'll learn more about her transition during the reunion because that is where she comes out. Kylie certainly like made her mark on drag and the drag race community and she's awesome. I love Kylie. Now we're on episode 5 and I think we're at the top 8. I'm not sure though. And their mini challenge is to gift wrap a box.
So you have the only scented box?
Of course.
Oh.
They really just do the most random stuff for mini challenge. Raven wins the mini challenge with her dark raven box. The bird was calling to Rupaul.
What? Who?
Caw-caw. And the main challenge is them getting married to themselves. Basically, they are dragging up their guy self and then they're designing a wedding dress for their drag self. I actually find this challenge pretty interesting. I don't think they do it now because I think, well, I mean, clearly not all their contestants have a boy self, you know, to drag up as a man, you know? But I do think this is fun, like where we're at in the series. Like they're kind of doing a drag king, drag queen thing. I think that's kind of fun. So because Raven won the mini challenge, she gets to pick out her wedding dress first that she's going to dress up. And then she gets to pick the order of the other girls of when they get to pick out their dresses. But I'll be honest, there's a lot of dresses that are on the rack, and quite frankly, they're dressing them over anyway. I don't really think it matters what order you pick your dress out for, but at least it's organized. As far as getting the rest of their fabric though, that's a contact sport.
Tyra pushed the rolling rack in front of the rest of the girls. So Tatiana pushed the rolling rack on top of the girls.
All right, now I'm gonna say for the record, this is the strangest behavior Tyra shows the entire season, which you might find surprising because she's already shown some unhinged behavior up until this point. But it gets even more unhinged in this episode. Morgan and Raven are shown to be quite a bit of a pair. It's kind of peeving some people off.
Rorgan, Maven. Hey, Morvins.
A wedding day.
But it is what it is. And then RuPaul brings in a makeup artist, Matthew Anderson, to go around and critique the girls' makeup. I don't find this part very interesting. I do think this is funny. Tyra will go into the confessional and say,
everyone's copying me.
When really they're just, you know, doing the challenge, you know? Like they're supposed to all be making wedding dresses. Oh my God, I can't believe they're making a wedding dress. Yeah, it's the challenge. They're not copying you. But that's not the most unhinged thing that Tyra does, so I'll get into that. Yeah, so I always forget this. I know gay marriage was legalized when right after I graduated high school, which that seems like a weird thing to me. But I always forget that it was recent that gay marriage got legalized. And so while this episode was being filmed, gay marriage was not legal in all 50 states. And so the girls are talking about that and they're talking about whether or not they want to get married themselves. And it's kind of like a serious conversation that they're having with each other about like their rights and just like personally what they'd like to do. But then they get interrupted.
Gay people not being allowed to marry, to me, is a kick in the ass.
Because Tyra starts singing. And it's like my lip syncs that I record. Like that's the type of singing that's going on in this place. I think it's one of the funniest scenes in television, if I'm being honest. It's so iconic to me.
I'm just in my own world. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to any of the other girls.
Hello! 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 Like, it doesn't even... if she wasn't saying Halo, I wouldn't know what song she's singing because it doesn't sound anything like the actual song. Hello! Oh!
I put the earphones back in and I went back to singing. She didn't ask politely.
And the other girls, this is like the moment they crack. Like, I feel like they were dealing with Tyra up until this point, and then this happens and they're like, I can't hold it in any longer. Especially like Tatiana and Jujubee, they're like, they don't know what to do. Like this girl is sincerely cracked. She's cracked out of her mind. And then, to make matters worse, she starts to hot glue fabric to her skin.
I mean, why would you hot glue things to your skin?
This woman's hot gluing her skin. Truly, Tyra's like, I don't know how to describe her. She's fascinating to me. She's just utterly fascinating.
Anyway,
they go on the main stage. The guest judges are Matthew Anderson, who is the makeup artist that went around to them earlier, and Martha Wash. For the runway, Sahara is on point, which is very cool. Very impressive. The dress itself, it's okay. It definitely doesn't fit super well on her top area. So that's my biggest critique of it, is the fit's not super great. I honestly don't like Morgan's dress very much. I hate the bottom. Like, there's something about, I hate the bottom. Her makeup looks really good though. And as much as you hate Tyra, she just kills it on the runway. Like, it's both like her actual look, like her actual dress, and like just the way she walks and acts. Like, that's a star right there. It's bizarre. I don't know where she pulls it out from, but she does it. Raven's dress, absolutely adorable. I love it. I think this is my favorite look by far. I love the little blue accents. Just super cute. I think Jessica looks beautiful. Personally, I don't love the bottom part of the dress, but I actually really like the top, like the little thing. It's almost like a veil, but it's like a part of the dress. I don't know. I like it. I don't love Tatiana's dress. It just feels really disjointed in my opinion. But I do think her makeup looks really good. I actually really love Pandora's look. I really like that it's kind of like a 70s bride. I like the pop of green. I don't know. I really like it. I think it's a really nice look. And I think Juju looks beautiful. I think this is the best that she's looked on the runway so far. It's a very pretty and opulent dress, in my opinion. So if we're judging based off the designs, Raven is by far my favorite. I think it's just the cutest. I did really like Pandora's look too. That might be my second favorite, but yeah, Raven's just hands down my favorite look. I would say that I think that Morgan and Sahara had the worst two looks, and Tatiana's a close third for me. So along with their designs, they also have these pictures of them getting married to their boy self. I think some of them are really cute. I loved Pandora's little photo. I felt like you could really feel the backstory on that one. I thought that was kind of cute and campy. And then I also thought Raven had the best photo too. I don't know. I think she just killed it.
36 and you're 16?
Going on 16. Oh, I see.
Basically, their main critiques are that they felt like Morgan's dress looked a bit costumey and that Sahara's dress also looked crafty and didn't look like it fit super well. They also mentioned that if Tatiana didn't have immunity, she would be in the risk of going in the bottom, which I think is fair, but I do think Morgan's and Sahara's were worse than hers, personally. Rupaul then asks if there was anything going on in the background that they didn't know about. And Tatiana says one of the most iconic lines in all of history.
I don't think that you're seeing that
Tyra is the complete bitch.
That was Frank.
Thank you.
Along with this, Pandora, Juju, and Sahara all stand up with Tatiana.
Everyone asked Tyra to be quiet and not sing obnoxiously loud for an hour. Sahara, do you think I'm a bitch?
I think sometimes you're selfish.
I think you need manners, girl.
Which I'm glad, because that would have been awkward. Clearly, Raven and Morgan stand with Tyra in this situation.
Raven, do you think I'm a bitch? No.
They're also the ones that are also bitches, in my opinion. So of course they'd stand with Tyra, but whatever. This is all just like a very messy situation.
And then I walk across the room and it's like, la, 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 la.
I mean, it gets Tyra like pretty heated on the runway.
You're testing me.
Her mask clearly falls off.
Maybe next time I will sing, and maybe she'll get another horrible dress like she has on now.
It's not a great look for Tatiana to the judges, but I don't think she's wrong.
You really shouldn't play the victim. It doesn't suit you.
I think it's very fair for her to share this opinion. And I feel like you can tell that Rupaul has no idea how to respond to this situation.
I think this is another challenge that we will all have to overcome.
He was not prepared. This carries on into Untucked, where it's very clear that Tyra and Tatiana are not doing very well with each other.
If I don't like you, I don't like you.
And I don't like you. Are you happy?
I was
I'm saying
not
it to your
talking
face.
to you.
Then why are you looking in my direction?
They kind of bicker like siblings in a way, which I think is kind of funny.
There isn't anything else to say.
But why are you talking?
Why are you talking?
Like, they're not very vicious with it. They're just kind of like sibling bickering, you know? Tyra's kind of just going off on anyone. Like,
Tyra has a baby.
Ooh, sorry for that baby, honey.
I think Pandora's just way too nice and she starts kind of attacking Pandora. Like, it's all very messy. But Sahara is being the icon that she is during it.
Like you are already famous, and you are not famous. None of us are famous. If you think you're already famous, you shouldn't be here.
Excuse me, I'm famous in Nicaragua.
I love Sahara and Untucked.
They said I had a chicken chest. She hated me because I said Beyonce had cellulite.
When the judges are in their deliberation, Santino clearly thinks that they're saying this about Tyra because they're jealous, but Merle's a real one, and she's like, no, I get it. I see it.
Now the judges think I'm some two-faced bitch, when really I'm not. I'm just...
It's really a one-faced miss, bitch.
But they're not Rupaul, because then when they come back on stage, Rupaul reveals that Tyra is the winner of the challenge. Raven was robbed. That was Raven's win right there. It's also like, damn, what a slap in the face to Tatiana. Basically, they tell Tatiana that she would have been in the bottom if she hadn't had her immunity, which, again, isn't giving Tyra the win enough for Tatiana at this point. And so it's revealed that Sahara and Morgan will lip sync for their lives. They're lip syncing to a Martha Wash song in front of Martha Wash. And Sahara really just pulls off all the stops.
I stand alone in the eye of the storm. Pressure's all around, trying to wear me down. But it's alright, I won't give up the fight. I said, Lord, lift me up. Let me rise above, I'll never. Nobody's gonna take my pride. I won't stop, I will not be denied. I carry on. When the belly's deep, said I'll never.
She is a dancing queen. She's already on point. And I think this is one of like the biggest legacies that Sahara leaves, is this lip sync in particular. It's like it's a very powerful lip sync. It's like a really powerful song. And she does such a great job like dancing in it. And it's a fabulous watch, in my opinion. I do think that Morgan does well, but you just can't really compete with what Sahara is doing right here. And so Morgan goes home and Sahara stays. Morgan does later appear for All Stars 3, and this hasn't aired yet, but I think she might be on the cast for All Stars 11. I don't know though. And I don't know how she does in it either. Like, I'm not gonna be able to spoil it for you. I really don't know. I just have heard it before. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I think it'd be cool to see her on another All Stars personally. She's honestly a very prolific drag queen, like outside of Drag Race itself. I think she's someone who's continually credited as someone who's very professional and respected within the industry. And she's kind of like one of the prime examples that I would give as someone who is really good at drag, but not necessarily good at Drag Race. You know, that's how I kind of feel about Morgan. If she's not on All Stars 11, I'd love to see her again, because I just think she's very confident about herself, and I like that. I like that she really knows who she is as a drag performer. And like, even if she doesn't do well, you can tell that she doesn't really care because she's still successful without the show. And I just kind of appreciate that attitude going into the show. And we're at 2 hours now, and my battery's low. I might take a break. Will I be wearing something else? I don't know. We will see. Smooches. All right, I am indeed back with a different outfit because it's the next day. I'm really gonna try to make this not a two-part video, but I don't know how that will go because I filmed the first half of the season and that was already 2 hours long. So I'm gonna try to make this not 2 parts, but we still got like half the season to get through. So let's just get started, shall we?
So anyway.
We left off on episode 6 where, who's left? The top 7? I think it's top 7. I might be wrong. So we start off the episode with Raven being pretty sad that Morgan has gone home, but she's kind of hoping that maybe without the distraction, she can do a little bit better in the competition. Their mini challenge is styling a wig and making it a big rocker chick hair.
You can use tomorrow this.
I will definitely consider using that tomorrow.
Thanks.
To the gods, you know, like big hair, don't care. To be honest, I don't think anyone did all that well. The ones that made it like actual like rocker chick hair, I think made it a little too demure. And then the other ones were just crazy.
Girl to girl.
Yeah.
When did you lose control of this wig?
When I got the wig.
And then Tyra just did Beyonce.
Tyra's, once again, Beyonce. It's Beyonce, Beyonce, Beyonce. Rupaul should have just brought Beyonce here.
Which is very fitting for who Tyra is, as you can tell. Pandora did end up winning, and her hair was crazy, but she made it into like a guitar, and so that's at least kind of creative, so good for Pandora. RuPaul reveals that for their main challenge, they're gonna be rock singers, and they're going to be performing a rock version of one of RuPaul's songs live.
Have I seen you do this before?
I don't think I have done that before.
Do it with me now.
The song they are performing is Lady Boy, which I don't think is a song that they would choose now because it's a little transphobic. But if you go back into a lot of RuPaul's music, a lot of it is kind of transphobic. But I think in the time, it was like being edgy because kind of being a drag queen is inherently edgy. It's very complicated. But let's just say this is not a song that they would perform now. So there's mixed feelings in the workroom. You've got Juju and Jessica very excited about this challenge. Jujubee is really excited because she can actually sing. Jessica can't quite actually sing, but she's got the enthusiasm for it, and she clearly has always wanted to sing. So they're both very excited about this challenge. And Jujubee, especially since she hasn't won anything yet, she feels like if she's gonna win a challenge, it's gonna be this one. You've got some others who are certainly struggling a lot more. Tatiana is very insecure about her voice. She's very insecure about all of this. Tyra is struggling because
as the world won't stop if you clock me, you got
the only music that she knows is Beyonce's, and so
she models herself after Beyonce, and that's all she does.
How is she supposed to know how to be a rocker chick?
Beyonce's not a rocker chick.
And then Sahara is also, she's very musical theater. Not rocker chick, you know? She's a little too prim and proper for this kind of challenge, if you get my drift. They get to practice with Terry Nunn, who is the lead singer of Berlin. I think they're the band that does the Take My Breath Away. So that's what I know her from. She's cool. She really likes Raven.
I wish you were straight. You're really cute.
She really wishes that Raven was straight. And while we're there, we see that Tatiana can't even get through the first verse, even with Terry Nunn. And so it's looking kind of shaky for Tatiana as we get into this challenge. And so Terry Nunn and Henry Rollins are the two guest judges for this challenge. I don't really know who Henry Rollins is. I'm gonna assume he's in a rock band of some sort. But honestly, I really like his facial expressions throughout this episode, so I appreciate his presence. So the challenge starts, and we get to see all the girls perform. It is make or break time. We start off with Jessica, who honestly has just a great stage presence. She's very confident and she just kind of goes for it. She does a great job with this. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with how Pandora did in this competition as well. I feel like this isn't the type of competition that you'd think Pandora would do well in, but she really has the confidence for it, and she does a good job embodying a rocker. She can't sing at all. But she does a good job pretending like she can. You know? Sahara starts off her song just screaming. Which is a choice. She also starts to forget the words midway through, and so that's not looking great for her either. And Tatiana, who's been terrified to perform this entire time, goes out and actually kills it. She does a really good job. She kind of makes it a little kind of sexy and sensual. And, she really stepped up her game compared to what it looked like she was gonna be doing. She kind of just kills it. I'm very proud of Tatiana. That's my little girlie right there. It's weird. She is older than me, but it's I'm watching her while she's at an age where she's younger than me. And so there's almost a maternal feeling, watching Tatiana succeed. I don't know if that makes sense. Raven goes out there and kills it. She's great. She's very sexy. One more shot, I've got another boogie in me. Yeah, now she's turned Terry Nunn into a lesbian,
You know what, Eddie Murphy? You cannot have this lady girl, honey. You cannot afford this lady girl, honey. You
Okay. My favorite performance, completely ironically, but like it is my favorite, is Tyra's. It's just, I don't understand it. It's so funny though. It's so funny to me. She's like doing acrobats. But like she doesn't sound good while she's doing it either.
And I thought that I did great.
It's just, oh, to be Tyra.
I don't know. I loved it.
I mean, it's clearly not great. And she's very lucky that she has immunity because, let's face it, I can't imagine that this would have boded well for her if she hadn't had immunity. But I was entertained nonetheless. And then finally, we have Jujubee, who throughout this entire episode, you kind of feel like she's hyping herself up. You know, you're even like hearing her, and she is clearly like the only one that has like an actual good singing voice. But unfortunately, when she gets out there, she kind of just flops, honestly. I think she put like too much pressure on herself to do well in the competition, and she ends up like kind of flubbing up the words, and I don't know. I think she took it too seriously. I think what she really needed to do was just go out there and have fun, as opposed to like trying to prove that she has the best voice of the group, because that's really not what this challenge was all about. And so that's not looking very good for her, to be quite honest. So in the end, I think that the best performances, in my opinion, were Jessica, Pandora, and Raven. And I think I'd give the edge to Jessica and Raven just because Pandora's voice was just really bad. But I'd be happy with any of them winning, really. In the end, I definitely think Juju's was the worst because it just feels like she didn't even try doing the right stage presence, you know? Like even when you compare it to Tyra, it's like, you know, Tyra's at least trying to do something. Even if it was that. I think realistically, you'd have to say Tyra was the next worst, but she did have immunity. And so I would say Sahara was the next worst, just because the scream was off-putting and, you know, she didn't really know the words. And so the judges pretty much have the same opinions that I just shared right there. They kind of just clown on Juju, which is sad, because we love Jujubee. She's so charming. And they definitely thought Sahara seemed a little too poised while she was performing her song. And, you know, she didn't really know the words. When I get to Tyra, I wish they had gone in on her more. They do in the deliberation a little bit more, and they mentioned like, yeah, she's lucky she had immunity. But really all they tell Tyra is that she seemed too glam, and she needed to be more rocker. And I don't think that was the problem with the performance. Like, let's just be honest with her. She's already delusional enough. So the girls go back into the Untucked room, and we see Juju just kind of have a breakdown. She's clearly like distraught with herself. She really thought that this was her chance to prove to the judges that she could win something. And not only did she not do that, but also it's very clear that it's not looking good for her. She's probably gonna lip sync for her life.
I'm not gonna win anything here.
So back in the day, and let's just say that this is the instigating moment that caused them to dial back on this. But back in the day, they used to be given unlimited drinks by Absolute Vodka.
Where is my Absolute Vodka?
In Untucked. And Jujubee took advantage of that. And she gets rather wasted in Untucked. So she's just kind of having a little breakdown. They now water down the drinks. Meanwhile, Raven just continues to talk unlimited smack about Tatiana, as she does most Untucks, you know. When they come back, it's revealed that Jessica wins the challenge. Yay! We love Jessica. However, she doesn't get immunity for next week because they've stopped immunity for the rest of the season, which they always have to do. But why'd they have to do that to my girl Jessica? Give her immunity.
I dare you.
Not that they're gonna change it. This was like over 10 years ago. Anyway, the bottom are Jujubee and Sahara, which at this point isn't much of a surprise. And then they lip sync to Black Velvet, and
the way he moved, it was a sin, so sweet and true. Always one more, he'll leave you longing for. Black velvet and that little boy's smile. Black velvet with that slow southern style.
Jujubee, the lip sync assassin that you are. She annihilates Sahara, blackout drunk.
Black velvet and that little boy's smile. Black velvet with that soul sudden style. A new religion that will bring you to your knees. Black velvet, if you please.
Honestly, I think being blackout drunk kind of helped her in this song. She really like puts on just an insane performance to the song. Sahara doesn't do like too bad, but she's a little too dancey and poised for the song. You know, it's a very kind of gritty song that Jujubee does a really good job embodying, but Sahara is a little too musical theater. So unfortunately, this is the end of Sahara's run, and she goes home and Jujubee stays in the competition. The girls are very sad about Sahara leaving, and so am I. She honestly always just had like such a great light to her and such a great spirit. And you can really tell, like, especially in Untucked, that she always just had such a great attitude, even when she was receiving bad critiques. And she just seemed like such a fun and nice person to be around. Like I really enjoyed her, especially in like the Untucked videos. Like she just seemed really fun and really light, and she's gonna be greatly missed. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Sahara Davenport did pass away in 2012 at the age of 27 from heart failure. And I hope that along with this recap, it can kind of help show just how much of a light and a spirit she was during her time. She's such a great performer and great dancer, and she's greatly missed in the Drag Race community. Now for episode 7.
I love that drink.
And I believe we're at the top 6. Yeah, that's right. The girls start off the episode just kind of talking about their own struggles about coming out when they were younger. Nowadays, in the kind of modern seasons, we don't hear this quite as much from the queens. I mean, they're rather young, you know.
A lot of them are now younger than me, which has been kind of unsettling to watch throughout the years. Especially since I started watching this when I was a minor, and people my age wouldn't have been able to go on the show. But now, very quickly, more and more queens are younger than me. And I feel like this last season, more of them were younger than me than they were older than me. And that was very unsettling.
So this is all just to say, I think those queens have grown up in a time where coming out wasn't quite as traumatic. Not to say that it couldn't have been for these queens. I want to be very clear about that. But I would say, like, in these earlier seasons, when these queens discuss how they've come out and like their perception of their friends and family, and even just like people in general to them being gay and being drag queens, it definitely seems like it was a lot more of a struggle for them. And I think it's very important to hear these stories and like recognize that this was not very long ago that that it was so much of a struggle to come out. I mean, we even have during this segment, Pandora reveals that she did try to take her life when she was younger, which, especially in comparison to just who she is, like she's kind of the comedy queen, she's the funny one. And to hear that that was something that she had struggled with, it's just, yeah, it just really puts things into perspective, that you never know what's going on with people and you never know what type of struggles they've had in life, you know? All right, let's move away from the sappy stuff, because then they have their first reading mini challenge. Now, this is a classic mini challenge now that I think the queens recognize that it's gonna happen and they're kind of prepared for it in a way. This season, you could tell they were a little more uncomfortable having to do this.
I don't read people. Of course you don't, Tyra, because you're a Christian.
Because they weren't really prepared for this to happen. I'd say largely, everyone does a good job except for Tatiana. Tatiana just kind of comes up there and refuses to do it. Which, I'll be honest, relatable. Part of it is because my mind blinks whenever people ask me to do anything in the moment. But I feel as though I'd be the same way. I'm too classy for that. Again, also my mind just blinks. I will say that other than that, I think they all did relatively well. Tyra kills me.
Oh wow, we have Eminem doing drag, mama.
She changes her voice up while she's doing this.
Junjun Bean, darling, let me get to your level. Oh, we have an underground orangutan.
And it's the most personality she's shown out of drag, I think, the entire competition.
Oh, just look at her wrong.
And it just kind of kills me. Jessica also kills me.
That is big. You need to see another thing that I have for you, bitch.
In like kind of the same way that Tyra does, but almost more.
You are so fat, girl.
Like she just doesn't make any sense with any of the reads that she does have.
You, the top model, when I see your face, I said,
and when she ends up making like a little bit of sense, it's like,
what are you doing here, mama? Go back to Chinatown, girl.
Jessica.
Oh. Yeah, so I think she was the funniest, but I don't think you could give her the win for this because she didn't really make sense most of the time. But I love Jessica. And then you have Pandora and Raven, who do well in the way that you'd kind of expect both of them to. Like, they're both just kind of funny. I mean, Raven's very shady, and so you expect her to be good at this type of challenge. But really, the person who kills it is Jujubee.
Miss Tyra, was your barbecue canceled? Your grill is...
She is just... she's the original.
And Miss Tatiana? Miss Honey.
I don't know if anyone could ever top Jujubee, to be quite frank.
Let me tell you something, puerca. You won't understand this anyways. Get my gist? Do you understand?
And it's not even like the things that she says, it's just her delivery is so perfect.
And you, legendary you think you are. Legendary looks like leg and dairy.
It's just so good. I love Jujubee. Ugh, she's just so funny. And so Jujubee clearly wins the challenge, you know. Good for her. She finally won something. For the main challenge, they're bringing in the Absolute Vodka guy, Jeffrey Moran, I think that's his name. It's one of their sponsors. I feel like this was in the contract. And basically they are doing like a promotion run. So part of it is that they have to promote this new vodka flavor. It's berry acai, which
I love a berry acai flavor. One of my favorite drinks of all time is the vitamin water, pomegranate, acai, blueberry, whatever. I don't even know what it's called. I just know that it's delicious. And I drink it about once a day.
I do the 0 sugar, so don't worry.
I'm helping my pancreas out, you know.
Anyway, if I drink, I'd probably be all over this vodka. But anyway, they have to promote this new flavor, and then they also have to create a a book concept. So they're making like a book title. And they're doing a photo shoot for it and like a concept for their own like autobiography. And so they're also having to promote their book.
I dedicate my book to Beyonce.
I think it's kind of a cool challenge. This clearly has a lot of kind of speaking to it. And so Jessica in particular, who is the one with the language barrier, is kind of struggling with this challenge. And I would say they're all kind of just struggling with the word acai. I don't blame them because I think especially at the time, it wasn't quite of a mainstream flavor. Like now I know acai super well because I feel like tons of drinks include it. But at the time, I don't think it was quite as common. So they're all kind of struggling saying that. So during the actual interview, they did do a photo shoot for their book, by the way. I don't think it was very interesting. I think they all did fine. But during the interview, there was a few more interesting things. I think it's clear that Raven and Jujubee were the best.
And I have great big white teeth.
And Pandora and Tyra weren't really shown very much during their kind of B-roll of all of them doing the interview. But I mean, what they were shown, like, I think they were fine. Now, Jessica, on the other hand.
I'm better because I'm Jessica Wilde and I'm unique.
Now with all these drag queens living together.
Oh, I love that. Absolute acai. Oh my God.
Gives like an iconically messy performance.
Thanks, and I have my new book.
What was that?
The name is Jessica Wilde, The Dreams of a Golden Child.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jessica. Good luck.
I love that drink.
I think it's really funny, but I can see why this wouldn't exactly be what they wanted out of the challenge. Like, she's doing what they wanted. She's promoting the drink, but she does come off as an alcoholic.
Do you always drink when you're doing media?
No, it's my first time, but I love that drink.
Which isn't her fault, I don't think. But it is just how she comes off. Tatiana also doesn't do great during the interview. She basically forgot to mention the drink and her book, which that was the whole point of the interview. So what was she talking about? How long was this interview? Makes you question. As the girls get ready to go on the main stage, we see Tatiana and Raven clashing even more. There's like kind of this weird narrative that Raven has created for herself that she's like, Tatiana is always talking all this smack about everyone behind their back, but she can't say it to their face, which I don't really get because I don't think she does talk a lot of smack about people behind their back. Honestly, I feel like when she has a problem with people, Tatiana's not afraid to like bring it up to their face. It gives to me, Raven can tell that Tatiana is the uncool kid at school, and so she's gonna just keep taking her lunch money, you know? She's also like 10 years older than Tatiana. Like,
I don't know.
I find the way that Raven talks about people very unsettling. And I think I probably find that a little bit more than other people. I don't know.
Let's move on.
The guest judges for this challenge are Gigi Lavangi, Jackie Collins, both of whom are authors from what I understand, and Jeffrey Moran of Absolute Vodka. For their runways, I didn't write down what the category was. I don't really think it matters. Kind of at this point in Drag Race, I feel like all their runways are just labeled Best Drag. So there's not really a theme for the most part. I like it when they have themes.
Anyway.
Tyra looks great as always. It's not my favorite look of hers, but she did bring out a belt to change up her outfit a little bit. The judges seemed very impressed by it. I wasn't very impressed by it. I thought Juju looked good. I love the dress that she has and I love the color that it is. I kind of wish it hit the floor though. That's my only critique, is that I wish the dress hit the floor. I do kind of love this dress on Tatiana. It's grown on me throughout the years. I think it works really well with like her and her style. I think it's one of her better outfits that she brings onto the show. God, I hate this dress on Pandora. And I'm certain that Santino will too. It is very Pandora though. Jessica has on a very fun dress. It feels very demure for her, you know, comparing the other things that she has on. And Raven, I think, just looks great. It's very kind of like disco 70s, and that's not necessarily something that I would associate with Raven, but I think it works on her. It looks nice. As far as the challenge go and how the judges critique the girls, I realized that I didn't record what any of their book titles looked like. So just take my word at what I say about them, you know? I think Tyra's cover was fine. It's a rather long title and kind of cluttered. And she did get dinged because she didn't say acai during her interview, which, whatever. I love Juju's title. I love her tagline, and I'm still here. I think she was very natural in her interview too. So I think she did a great job. I actually liked Tatiana's book title. She did get dinged for her confidence though. And also her interview was just kind of a mess, like I mentioned. I thought Pandora's book was really cute. She's like getting out of a box because you know she's Pandora box. Clever. Of course, Santino hated her outfit, just like I predicted. She also didn't include the brand name Absolute Vodka when she was talking about the drinks, and so I guess that's an issue. But she's just overall so charming that it's like, does it really matter?
I just want to say that my book, Out of the Box, How Drag Saved My Life, is now available online and in stores.
They mentioned that Jessica's book looks like something that a preteen would read. I don't disagree. And I mean, her interview was a mess. I don't think any of us can deny that, as much as we love Jessica Wilde. And then Raven, I think her book's photo shoot was fantastic. She had a really cool concept because it's like young, broke, and fabulous, and she's like at a yard sale. I thought that was a nice concept, a little more creative than what these other girls were doing. I will say, I don't know if she got to pick out the font to her book, but if she did, I think that was a bad decision. I did not like the font that was on the book, but I also don't know if they had control over that. She also gets praised for her interview, especially for like her branding. She was very good at like repeating her book title and like the drink name and just very good at the promotional part. So I would say in the end, Raven and Jujubee definitely did the best. And I feel like you'd give the win over whatever you valued more in the competition. I think Jujubee did a better job displaying a fun personality, but I think Raven did a better job like with the promotional aspect. So I think if you wanted to reward the personality, the charm, you'd give it to Jujubee, but if you wanted to reward the promotion aspect, you'd give it to Raven. That's kind of how I would judge this challenge. And honestly, I think it's kind of clear that you have to put Jessica and Tatiana in the bottom two. I think they were the two clear worsts. Meanwhile, in Untucked, who would have guessed? Raven continues to pile on Tatiana.
Her interview was shit. Her look was shit. Her book cover was shit. Her trying to launch and sell her book to the judges was shit. She's shit.
Again, this is a through line. It's just constant. I'm kind of sick of it. It's not very entertaining to me. Like, yeah, I get it, Raven. You're 10 years older than this girl. You're better than her. Cool. Good job. Now she's even also getting in on the other girls, especially like Pandora.
I have a friend who makes costumes that are made out of fabric like that. And everyone's like, what the
Let's tone it down a little bit. And that's basically all of Untucked, is just Raven talking smack on people. So they come back, Raven wins the challenge, which I think is deserved, but I think Jujubee did a great job too. And Jessica and Tatiana are announced to be in the bottom 2. I think this is kind of a weird lip sync.
Oh, wow. He's the greatest dancer. Oh, wow.
Jessica has a lot more energy than Tatiana, and I would say that usually that boosts the person over the other person. But this song really doesn't lend well towards super high energy.
But I felt my eyes were staring at the guy who stuck out in the crowd. He had the kind of body who would chain Madonnas and a face that would make any man proud.
And while I don't necessarily think like Tatiana did a fantastic job at this lip sync, she definitely embodies the vibe a lot better.
Oh, wow. He's the greatest dancer. Oh, wow.
And so, unfortunately, Jessica Wilde goes home. I do love Tatiana. I'm glad Tatiana stayed.
It was in pure
She's my girl, but damn, Jessica. She just won the last challenge too. Poor Jessica Wilde. Jessica still does drag, and she was recently on season 8 of All Stars. I would say that her recent appearance definitely kind of kickstarted a bit more of a fandom behind Jessica Wilde, which I think is very deserved. I'm glad Jessica is getting kind of the flowers that I think she deserves. I'm glad we got to see more of her too.
You got a cankle now.
I don't know what it is.
One day it will come.
And now we're on to episode 8 with the top 5. We're getting there. The girls definitely missed Jessica, and she was definitely seen as like a front runner. Raven is pissed that Tatiana stayed over Jessica. Are we surprised? Pandora is also starting to just feel very confused about the critiques that she's been receiving. It feels as though when she tries to play into the campy stuff, she gets dinged for not being glamorous enough, but then when she tries to be a little more glamorous, then she gets dinged because they wish she played into more of her funny aspect. And so she really just doesn't know what to do as far as like her looks go. She clearly does well in the challenges, but it feels like they won't reward her until they actually like what she's wearing. The mini challenge is kind of par for the course of all the other mini challenges. They're having to match contestants of the seasons to their baby photo. Tatiana wins. And then it's revealed that it's the makeover challenge. They are making over older gay gentlemen. And Tatiana, as the winner of the mini challenge, gets to pick out her partner and gets to pick out the partner for the other girls. She gives Raven the really hairy one. I get it. Like, she's been talking smack about you for weeks now. But Raven is determined to make this work. She's not gonna let this shake her up because Raven's a professional. I would say this challenge, there's definitely a big emphasis on respecting those that came before you, especially these men who really kind of paved the way for a lot of LGBT rights and were there when they still had to be very hidden about their sexuality and really had to like fight for their visibility. And so that's what the episode is about in its core, is like giving respect to those that came before them. You kind of get to know the personalities of the different gentlemen. I would say that Jujubee's and Tatiana's men are a little more on the diva side.
I am a challenge.
But we kind of love that for them. Tatiana's guy also clearly has some health issues.
Because I don't have to shave here.
You already take care of this?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, you just had it removed?
No, it just fell out.
Oh.
And so she's kind of having to figure that out because he's not exactly great at walking and needs a little bit more assistance in that. You can tell that Raven and her partner are really starting to jive, even though Raven's partner is a little bit more on the eccentric side. He's got a bunch of like belly button piercings, which I didn't clip because I found it a little gross and I didn't want to show it. Pandora's partner is also kind of interesting, and low-key is hitting on Pandora the entire time.
The umbilical cord is still attached.
Oh dear. Yes, that's...
Tyra is just hardly shown during this episode, which is kind of wild considering there's only 5 of them left. I would say the most interesting part about Tyra's mother, because they're starting to refer to these older gentlemen as their mother, like they're supposed to make them up as their mother. I'd say the most interesting part about Tyra and her mother are that instead of just using Spanx on her mother, she like duct tapes her entire body. That is a choice. So anyway, they also have to teach their mothers a lip sync as well as making them over. They're doing the lip sync with their drag mothers. And I will say this, Tatiana's mother is really feeling the music. I appreciate it. Clearly a theater gal. The guest judges for this episode are Cloris Leachman, Debbie Reynolds, and Tony Coy, who's of NYX Cosmetics. They go down the runway with their mothers, and here are my opinions. I think Raven looks really good, and I think her mother's makeup is just fabulous. It looks really nice. She like had to shave like her entire body to like make it work, and she really did a good job with it. I think she really transformed her mother into something very draggy. I do like the outfits, but they are a bit on the plain side. But I think overall it's a really nice job. Pandora comes out in these kind of red sparkly outfits. I can tell that Santino will hate this. I do think her mother did a great job at stealing the show. I think she looked really good. And I think her mother looked better than Pandora did, which sometimes I don't mind. I feel like sometimes that's better for these type of challenges. But it's always kind of wishy-washy on how the judges feel about that. I don't know. I think Juju looks good. I don't love how her mother looks. Again, she's got that weird wig on. And like, she looks very shapeless. I don't know, it's not my favorite. I actually kind of like Tatiana's dress. I wasn't really sure about it, but I think I do like it. And I like her mother's makeup on her too. I think they work really nicely together. I also just think that her mother has a fabulous on-stage personality. She's the most fun in my opinion. And then Tyra very much took like the identical route, which, I mean, we saw last season Rebecca win in that fashion, but I think it works. I will say this, I think the mother looks somewhat terrifying, but I can't really pinpoint why. Just something a little unsettling about it. And then they do their little lip sync. I have to say, Tatiana's mother is my favorite. I think she's so funny in it. Hands down, won the show in my opinion.
Strike up, bang a heart like the beat of my drum.
Pandora and her mom are pretty fun.
When you step in to the disco, leave your problems at the front door.
Tyra is okay. They do a fun little dance.
This is the main event. Are you ready? Just let the music dance into your soul.
Juju's mom is really the only like true letdown. She kind of just stands there.
Story had the chance to start.
And then Raven actually has a really sweet moment at the end.
Like, she's not gonna make it back. I grab her and take her to the back, because I mean, I would do that for my mom.
They do that for me when I leave.
Yes, they will.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Where she can tell that her mom is just like losing energy midway through the performance, and she picks her up and carries her off the stage. That's really sweet, especially since Raven's not exactly like a sweet person. So that was nice. I'd say at the end of it, Tatiana's mom was my favorite, but I don't think it was for anything that Tatiana really did. I think I was just gonna like her regardless of who she was paired with. So I feel like I can't really give Tatiana like the win based off of that, you know? I do think in the end, Raven transformed her partner the best. Like that was clearly the best transformation, and her makeup was fabulous, and you really see like a sweet side of Raven during her interactions with her mother. And so I think I would be the most inclined to give Raven the win after all of this. And then for me, I think Juju's really the only clear like bottom placement. I just don't love the makeover, and I think she was the only one that really flopped during the lip sync too. And then I think I would go with Tyra and the other bottom. The more I look at her partner, the more unsettling I find the makeup on her. So I don't know. I think that's who I would put in the bottom two. But I mean, during the critiques, it's clear that the only real negative critiques going on is coming to Jujubee. And they mentioned to Pandora that they think her mother outshined her. And they don't say it in a way that they seem like they enjoyed that. So personally, I think they had fun and they looked natural. So I liked them. In Untucked, they can't be quite as snarky as they normally are because their mothers are in the room with them.
Well, I'm going to make a career of this, honey. I can sit in a chair like this, surround myself with gorgeous guys, and do a show.
And so that's kind of a bad look if Raven just talked the same smack that she always does during Untucked. Tyra also claims that she hurt her ankle.
How's everybody's feet?
My feet are fine. It's just my ankle.
You got a cankle now.
I don't know what it is.
One day it will come.
This is the only time we hear of it. When they come back, it's announced that Raven is the winner, which I think is very deserved. And they announced that the bottom two are Jujubee and Pandora, because of course, they've hated Pandora's fashion this entire season. And this is like quite literally like a fashion challenge, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised, even though I am disappointed. Jujubee pulls out another great lip sync.
Shake your love, I just can't shake your love.
Unfortunately, Pandora just doesn't really have that kind of edge that I think Jujubee has when performing. And so Pandora goes home. She was a very sweet and lovable queen. You can tell by the way they talk in the reunion that this was not favored by the fans, if you get my drift. Pandora still does drag and has returned for season 1 and season 6 of All Stars. On her Instagram, she regularly posts herself in drag, and she's also very vocal about the injustices that is happening in our country.
I lose my inhibitions.
So now we're on the top 4 on episode 9. The mini challenge is this thing where it's like, which queen wore it best? And they're all wearing like these black dresses and they have to like accessorize it to see who wore it best. I think they all did not great. What was funny about it though was that they clearly didn't have time for makeup, and so they're just doing this makeup list, and that looks funny. Jujubee did try to put on makeup, and so I think in the end she looked the best, but Ru gives the win to Tyra, who I think was the second best, so whatever.
Anyway.
Rupaul then announces that the main challenge is going to be the ball, where they have to have 3 looks. They're doing a Diva Awards ball, so they're all kind of based off of award shows. The first look is going to be the Teen Diva Awards, so they have to give like a kind of teen look. And then they're doing the Diva DC Press Awards, and so it's executive realness. And finally, they have the Diva Hollywood Extravaganza Awards, and so that's meant to be kind of a glamorous gown sort of situation. And so they are set off to prepare their looks for this ball. Raven very much thinks that her only true competition is Jujubee, and I think Jujubee feels the same way, but I don't really like to focus on it because she feels like the only person that's ever nice to Tatiana. I don't like to acknowledge her not being nice to Tatiana, to be quite honest. We get another Tyra singing while she makes her dress.
I don't care, DJ. Love the way I lose my inhibitions.
Classic. And she's making a Muppet masterpiece right now.
Tyra looks like she skinned
all of the Muppets and is making a gown out of fur.
I don't know what the deal with her is. I don't know if she's just playing a game. Maybe she's just making this just to kind of throw us
off. Fabulous, darlings. Fabulous.
where she's using a bunch of these neon furs to make her gown. It's interesting. Rue then comes back and reveals that they're gonna have to put on a choreographed number. And because Tyra won the mini challenge, she is gifted with being the leader and choreographer of the group, which I don't really think is a prize. Tyra is proving to not be the best leader or choreographer, but what were we really expecting? After they do their they practice their dance, Tyra comes back and realizes that she really doesn't want to use her Muppet masterpiece, which I think was a good call. And so she's having to kind of figure something else out for her gown look. There's a lot of pressure in this challenge because it's the one before the finale. Juju feels a lot of pressure because she hasn't won any challenge and she was just in the bottom 2 for the past 2 weeks. And so it just feels like a lot of pressure. However, the girls all kind of acknowledge that they feel as if the correct top 3 are Raven, Jujubee, and Tyra. Obviously, this isn't necessarily how Tatiana feels, but the other 3 all feel like that should be the top 3. So they start the main stage. The guest judges are Marissa, Jarrett, Nokar. I know her. I even know who she is.
She won Celebrity Big Brother.
I also know her from Broadway. I'm a huge Broadway gal. But I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marissa. And the other guest judge is Tatum O'Neal. I don't know who she is. They do their little opening number, and honestly, I think they all do pretty well. Juju kind of messes up the choreography, but I don't know. I think they all did pretty well. And now we're on to the runways. And so this will be a lot of different looks to go through, so bear with me here. For the Teen Awards, we start off with Tatiana, and it's a little short, in my opinion, a little slutty for a teen. I don't know, it's not my favorite. Raven has a cute little outfit. I don't love her hair though. I kind of wish she went blonde. I don't know. I like the concept that Juju has going for her for these teen awards. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like she looks old.
But in all fairness, that might just be because I was a child in the early 2000s, and so I kind of just viewed this kind of early 2000s look as like a bunch of people who are older than me, when in reality, maybe they were teenagers when they wore it, in hindsight.
So I acknowledge that bias of mine. And then finally, I think Tyra just looks really cute. I love her dress and I love her hair. Her hair is so cool. And the dress, I love the color. It feels a little sophisticated for like a teen look, but I don't know. I think it looks really good. So if I had to like rank them in this one, I'd go Tyra, Raven, Jujubee, and Tatiana. That's my opinion. Next is Executive Realness. I don't love Tatiana's look. It's very messy. And in a way, it's kind of campy. And so I can appreciate that part, but I think especially in comparison to all the other ones, I don't care for it. I think Raven looks really good. She's given a very Hillary Clinton, in my opinion. So I think it works for the prompt, you know? Jujubee does well. I mean, it is what they're asking for. I feel like the top and the pants don't go together though. And then Tyra just looks really good. I don't know what else to say about it. So if I had to rank that, I'd go Tyra, Raven, Jujubee, Tatiana. Again. And next we have the extravaganza, Hollywood, whatever look. I actually don't hate Tatiana's dress. I like the fabric and the colors. I don't think it really works well for the prompt though. And I also realized midway through that I think she was the only one that made her look. I thought they were all supposed to make this gown, but no, I think she's the only one who did.
Anyway.
Raven's dress is fabulous. It just looks great. Juju also looks beautiful. She's giving very Bollywood.
Bollywood bitches have on way more than that.
I know.
What's Bollywood?
You know, I like the red on her. And Tyra also looks beautiful. It's a gorgeous dress. So I think for this one, I'd go Raven Tyra, Jujubee Tatiana. But I also don't really think it's fair because, like, yeah, all the other dresses are better than Tatiana's. They didn't make them. I wish that was more, like, streamlined, you know? Like, I feel like they all should have had to make this look. I don't know. I mean, Tatiana was flopping in all the other categories though, so I don't really think it would have mattered. To me, it's clear that Raven and Tyra are the top two. I preferred Tyra's first two looks to Raven's, but I did like Raven's last look. And usually I put more credence on the last look. But I think I still liked Tyra's look, so I think I would give it to Tyra if I was judging. And then, like, I feel like I'm kind of forced to put Jujubee and Tatiana in the bottom two just because, I don't know, I think Raven and Tyra were the clear tops. And man, Raven has really been killing it since she had that streak in the bottom two. Good for her. The judges largely have the similar opinions to me. I think it's clear that they didn't love, like, Tatiana's looks. And while they didn't necessarily hate Jujubee's looks, I think she could tell and the rest of the girls could tell that they liked Tyra's and Raven's a lot more than hers. And so she can tell what's gonna happen. And in Untucked, you can see that she's clearly very defeated. She knows she's in the bottom, and even if she does win the lip sync, she's going into the finale with no wins, which isn't great. Tatiana is also spending a lot of Untucked just trying to, like, defend herself against the other girls.
By that, I mean I'm not going to conversate with you. I'm not going to invest time.
I think it's
in
converse.
you. Huh?
Just say talk. I'm not going to talk to you.
They've all, like, really just counted her out from the beginning.
You guys think that I'm, like, shit. That I'm, like, nothing.
I would never say that. Her interview was shit. Her look was shit. She's shit.
And you know what? She's there as much as they are.
She's a Britney Spears fan, and I don't like Britney Spears fans.
What about Beyonce fans?
I like Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
So when they come back from the deliberation, it's revealed that Tyra won the challenge and that Tatiana and Jujubee are indeed lip syncing for their lives. This is Juju's third time in the bottom two, but she does kill the lip sync once again. It's kind of a hard song to lip sync to, but Jujubee just does a great job. She's even got Tatiana breaking and laughing at what she's doing, like midway through the lip sync.
So much love for us to see. So much hope for material things. Are they only in my dreams? Oh, oh, feeling something he can feel. Oh, oh, oh.
So, Jujubee, the lip sync assassin that you are. We'll see how I sing this. Good luck to your ears. With that, Tatiana sachets away.
I have just two words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now sachet away.
And the top three are Tyra, Raven, and Jujubee. To be honest, I think this would have been harder to watch Tatiana leave if she had to lip sync against, especially Raven, but Raven or Tyra. The fact that she was lip syncing against Jujubee, who is kind of like her only real friend in the competition, at least up until this point, I don't know. It does make it feel better for me. Like, that's the only person that I'd want Tatiana to lose the lip sync to. Tatiana still does drag, and she was on season 2 of All Stars, which, if you know, is the best season of All Stars out there. And I would say that season 2 run really kind of cemented Tatiana's legacy and kind of made her like a pretty good fan favorite. I would say she's not super active on Instagram, And she really only posts like once every few months. But it's clear that she's still doing drag and that she's still actively doing shows. Personally, I'd love to see her on another All-Star season because, I don't know, I love Tatiana. I loved her in this season, and I loved her in All-Stars too. So, let's do it, Rupaul Presents. The next episode was just a clip show, and I watched it just to make sure that nothing interesting happened, and I was correct. There really wasn't anything interesting. The most interesting thing was that they showed their audition tapes, and that was kind of fun. I thought Pandora was funny in hers, but I was too lazy to clip any of it because I didn't think that anything would have happened.
Anyway.
So that was episode 10. Just so you know that we're skipping over that.
Do you need water? Does she need to breathe in the paper bag?
Episode 11 is the finale with our top 3. So we got Jujubee, Tyra, and Raven in our top 3. And they will be co-starring in RuPaul's music video for Jealous of My Boogie. Don't be jealous of my boogie. Don't be jealous of my boogie. You can say that you are now, but I always see you looking. That's a preview to the lip sync later, just so you know. While they co-star in this music video, they will be needing to learn choreography, act in a fight scene with RuPaul, and also prepare a fight scene with each other.
Did you guys ever think that we were in a little boy, that you were gonna be in a RuPaul video?
No, me neither. I thought I was gonna be a doctor.
I'll be honest, I have always found these finale episodes rather boring. They're a little too sincere. I like camp. So they're preparing for this music video. It's supposed to be kind of 80s themed, and the stylist that is helping them out is a little worried for Jujubee and Tyra because they were a little too young for the 80s. Raven, in her age though, knows a lot about the 80s. For whatever reason, RuPaul's makeup artist, Matthew Anderson, is the one directing the music video. I don't know why. I'm gonna assume he's qualified for it. And during the acting scene, RuPaul gets to fake slap all the girls. I think that's kind of fun. They then do their little fake fight scene, and within it, I guess Tyra grabbed one of Raven's shoes and kind of stabs Jujubee's eye with it. The girls are fighting. It's clear that it did hurt Jujubee, but she's mostly fine. For the deliberation, it is just family. There are no guest judges, and it is just RuPaul, Merle, and Santino. On the runway, I think Jujubee has on a pretty cute dress. Honestly, I think up close, the details are nice, and I like it a lot. But I don't love it during the faraway shots. The silhouette's a little off, and I also think in comparison to the other two looks, it's not my favorite. It feels a little juvenile, if that makes sense. Raven comes on with her iconic look. I think this is one of the best looks that's ever been on the runway for RuPaul's Drag Race personally. It's a great outfit. It's so good. So good that Naomi Smalls brings it back. Iconic. And then I also really like Tyra's look. She feels very Barbie, you know? I think throughout the years, I've really come to love it more and more. Like the way it moves is just so nice. I love the colors. Like she just feels like a Barbie doll. I don't know. As far as the music video goes, I think Jujubee did a really good job.
What about me? What about Jujubee?
I think she did great in the acting portion, and I think she did pretty good in like the choreography and all that. I also think Tyra did a really good job. She's a very ugly fighter, like during that kind of fake fight scene. But I think it works. I think it works. I also think she did pretty good with the acting. So I'd say Tyra did a pretty solid job at the music video too. I think Raven was my least favorite in the music video. Her acting was fine.
What about me? What about Raven?
Let mommy make it better.
But I don't think she did a really good job at the choreography. Her energy feels on the low side, and I think it just gets overpowered by the other girls, in my opinion. Overall, though, I do think they all did pretty good on like the acting portion. It's a pretty campy challenge, which was kind of fun. I do think Tyra overall did the best, and I would say that Raven overall did the worst. But Raven's outfit is just so iconic. Also, if we're thinking about it, Jujubee just so clearly has the worst track record of the three that it's hard to think that she'd be able to make it to the final two, you know? Like, I don't think Raven did so poorly that it would overcome that. During Untucked, they're mostly kind of just reminiscing about the season.
Sonique, I think she got robbed.
Is she going to be memorable for people? Because I couldn't remember who went next.
Yeah, no one's gonna.
And by reminisce, I mean talk smack on every single person that has entered the workroom. Honestly, the only person that they don't just rail on is Jessica, which is fair. I love Jessica too. When they come back, it's revealed that Jujubee does get third place, which I feel like we saw this coming. Though it's a little disappointing because I actually love the top 7, but of the top 7, Raven and Tyra were my least favorites, at least personality-wise.
Tyra has talent. Tyra is unique. Nerve, she had the nerve to wear those ugly ass shoes. Charisma, I don't see any. She's just unt.
And this is where we ended up. Jujubee does still do drag, and it's low-key a running joke that she's on every season of RuPaul's Drag Race, because since appearing on season 2, she's appeared on season 1 and season 5 of All Stars, and has also appeared on the first season of UK versus the World. Very prolific. She is a well-established fan favorite of the show, and she has over 1 million Instagram followers. Very deserved. So because they are the top 2, Raven and Tyra lip sync for the crown to Jealous of My Boogie.
Hey DJ, love the way I lose my inhibitions when you spin.
And listen.
Oh, turn it up, let them scrutinize. Way up, cause the night is mine. Turn it up, let me scrutinize. Yeah, up under flashing lights.
I know no one wanted Tyra to win. And especially with everything that has happened now, people wish that she didn't win. But
Oh, don't be jealous of my boogie.
She deserved the win. I'm saying it. She deserved it. She was better than Raven. She was better in the lip sync. She was better in the music video. I think she was better in the competition. Raven was killing it at the end, but Tyra killed it. She killed it. And especially that lip sync, it just solidifies it. Like, come on. Tell me that you think that Raven won that lip sync over Tyra. I don't think you can. And so RuPaul announces that Tyra is the winner of season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So nowadays, season 2 is kind of known to not have a winner because of everything that's happened.
Keep your eyes on the stars. You'll never be one.
But I'm gonna eventually get into some stuff that I want to address in regards to Tyra. So just hold on a minute with that. After it's announced that Tyra wins, she does have like a full-blown panic attack, like on stage.
I'll take your shoes off.
And really only Raven helps her. And RuPaul just looks upon the scene helplessly.
Do you need water? Does she need to breathe in the paper bag?
I think this moment's kind of funny, not because of the panic attack, because let me tell you, I've had panic attacks before. I know they're not fun. I just think it's funny that like no one is helping her.
We're gonna continue.
Like, what are we doing here? Get the poor girl some water or something. I don't know. They're just kind of letting Raven just stand there like trying to figure out what to do because she's the only one that's like near her. I don't know. It's kind of a weird scene. This means that Raven is the runner-up of the season. She later appears on All Stars 1 and will likely never make an appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race. But it's not for a bad reason like Tyra. She's actually RuPaul's makeup artist and has been since season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is crazy. She's literally won an Emmy for the makeup that she's done on the show. Good for you, Raven. She is also a part of the popular web series Fashion Photo Review with future contestant Raja, where they commentate on the looks that appear on Drag Race. She's a very successful queen outside the show. I mean, she has an Emmy. I don't think most of these girls can say that. Yeah, I don't know if any of these girls can say that.
Anyway.
Tyra won't appear on future seasons for other reasons. She's kind of blacklisted from the community for the reasons that I stated earlier in this video. She's quit drag a few times, but I think has since gotten back to it in 2022, and she has stated that she will only appear on OF. So that's where our season 2 winner is right now.
Your outside is gorgeous, Raven, but your insides are dark and nasty, and I don't like you.
So let me get into the reunion. Most notably, RuPaul has a mustache.
And I am your mother.
Oh, mommy.
Good for him. I've never seen him in a mustache before. Let's be honest, this reunion's not gonna be as good as the last one. I don't think it can be.
You both call me losers, and I don't see you out there walking children in nature.
Let me talk about their looks before we get into the meat of the reunion. Shangela looks better than she has during this season, but I don't think she still looks that great. Nicole looks like she's wearing an H&M dress. I think Mystique looks fine. I actually do like the bright eyeshadow on her, like the pop of blue. I think that looks nice. I don't love Kylie's dress. The color is nice, but I don't love it. And I think Morgan looks the best out of the first 5 out. Sahara looks fantastic. I think she's in a fabulous look. I really love how it kind of like outlines her body. Like the color is great. It's a great look on Sahara. I don't love Jessica's look. I kind of wish it had a little more color. Like it's just all a little too drab for me personally. Pandora definitely has like a campy look to her. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I like how it looks. I also like how it like ties in with the concept of drag race, like the racing, like the cars. I think that's cute. I think Tatiana looks great. It feels very her, but like elevated. It's like she took what was already like her style and she made it better. I really like Tatiana's look. I think Jujubee looks cute. It's a very fun dress. Raven also looks really good. I do like the hair with the look, but I wish the hair was a little bit of a better quality, if that makes sense. And Tyra looks fantastic. I think that's the best look of the night. Like she looks really good. So during the reunion, we kind of just have a few like important beats with some of the girls. One of the things that's addressed pretty heavily in this reunion is just how much the girls are taken aback by the amount of smack talk from the confessionals. It feels like they really felt like they formed a family like on the show, and then they're coming off of it and they're just hearing how much other girls have talked smack about them. This is particularly relevant about Raven. I'd say one of the biggest things about this reunion is that at one point Kylie ends up walking off and Morgan follows her along with RuPaul.
I just had to be honest with myself, and I'm a woman. I'm not a boy who dresses up. I feel like the only thing I ever done right was go to a doctor and start transitioning. I've never been more happier in my entire life.
And she reveals that she is indeed a transgender woman and that she's started hormones for her transition.
I've always been a girl. I've always been a girl trapped in a boy's body. I started doing drag, and there's just something about it that wasn't enough. And I went to a doctor, and He put me on testosterone blockers and then moved me to hormones, and my levels are even, and I've never been happier in my whole life.
And this is huge. It's the first time that a RuPaul girl has openly come out as a transgender woman.
But for you to make this realization, to be happy performing, but also to clarify, not only for all of us, but for yourself, I applaud you, and I think it's so courageous, and you have our support.
And I think it's really fitting that the first transgender contestant, like the first one to like come out on RuPaul's Drag Race, then later goes on and is the first transgender winner. I think that's a cool kind of full circle moment, and it's a very important moment on the show. Morgan and Mystique address each other. They seem to be good now. I'm glad because I wasn't super happy with the way that the girls seemed to treat Mystique during the competition, but it seems like Mystique is in a good place with most of these girls and that they've kind of reconciled. So I was happy to see that. To get into the drama portion of the reunion, it definitely comes from Tatiana versus Raven.
You're jealous. You're insecure. No one that feels that great about themselves has to put others down the way that you do. I have had very negative feelings towards you since the end of that show.
Tatiana does not hold back her opinions on Raven during this portion.
Your outside is gorgeous, Raven, but your insides are dark and nasty, and I don't like you.
And I think that Tatiana is one of the most relatable contestants on the show. You can tell that she has insecurities, but they feel very real. And I like how, despite the fact that she has insecurities, you can tell that she's someone who will stand up for herself.
Until the point that I'm not done talking yet. You will speak when I'm done.
Oh, honey. Girl.
Like, she's not just a doormat within her insecurities. And I just feel like that's very relatable, or at least to me, I guess. The other girls seem to pull out the, well, you also were talking smack in your confessionals, and so therefore it's fine with the stuff that I've said. But it's like, especially when I think about Raven, I think the amount of smack was just so different. And at the end of the day, Tatiana is what, 21, 22 during this show, and Raven is in her 30s. And it just feels like this older person who is well established and has confidence is just trying to attack this younger person who probably doesn't know quite as much. And I don't know, I will always be Team Tatiana personally. And I do think that Raven's reads are funny. Like, she's an icon on the show for a reason, but I think having watched it, it just felt like a little much, and it didn't feel reciprocal, if that makes sense. It felt like it was definitely like a punch down constantly. Whereas, like, you know, with Tatiana talking smack about her, it's, well, Raven is doing well, and you can tell, like, whatever she has to say about Raven, Raven's really not going to be that bothered by it. And so it just feels different to me. I don't know. Let me know your opinions down in the comments below. So they really get into it. I think in the end, Tatiana does come across as rather immature, but she also is. Like, of course, Raven's gonna look more mature than her in this kind of confrontation because she's like 10 years older than her. I don't know. I do think it's funny because the way that Ru kind of just brings the reunion back to earth is that he calls them sensitive.
Now, we are overly sensitive.
And then just moves forward. I don't know. RuPaul's Hug Saga also returns, where he makes Tatiana and Raven hug each other.
So kids, this is a perfect time for a little hug. For your mother.
For your mother.
Aw. Well, Tatiana, Raven, I hope you feel better. I know I do.
At least they did it. So this is kind of the thing that I want to talk about in regards to Tyra. At some point in the reunion, RuPaul does address Tyra and like how she's a bit of a controversial winner, which at this point he doesn't even know how much that's gonna get, you know. And Tyra does apologize, and she apologizes to the girls with how she came across. And I'll be honest, it does feel sincere coming from her. And then the other girls even like acknowledge and they agree with Tyra that they feel as though they could see her changing throughout the competition and that they feel like she got more mature. Also keep in mind, Tyra is 21 while this started to air. So just like Tatiana, she is very young during this moment. I think unfortunately, even if in this moment Tyra feels like she was ready for change and she wanted to change and she wanted to come across better, I think even if she had, a TV edit lasts longer than anything else. Like unless Tyra were to come back and showcase a different version of herself, this TV edit will stay for a long time. And I think as the fandom grew and more fans watched the show, it's hard to recognize any type of change that might have occurred afterwards, if that makes sense. And the general consensus, especially before all of the controversy stuff, because I would say I was pretty much in the Drag Race fandom around when the first couple like true controversies with Tyra started to pop up within the fandom. But the general consensus was that Raven was robbed. It was that everyone wanted Raven to win and they hated that Tyra was the winner. And I feel like that builds on someone. Like, you know, you're constantly hearing about people being disappointed in your win and disappointed that Raven lost. And I think you have to say that there's an element of racism that also comes with all of this. And I think that's an important thing to consider when talking about Tyra and her controversies, is that, let's face it, she is being discredited for her win because people wanted this white queen to win. And I don't think they wanted her to win because she's white. But let's think of the reasons why they probably didn't want Tyra to win. You know, they think that Tyra came across as this bitch on the show who doesn't care about others and disregards other people's feelings. But how much better was Raven at that in the show? Raven was also shown as someone who was mean to others, that kind of disregarded other people's feelings. And yet the consensus amongst the fans was that Raven should have won this show. And I don't think that you could say that it's because she's better at drag. I think if you really looked at Tyra and looked at the things that she was doing fantastic throughout the entire competition. She has like such a stage presence when she is on that stage, like walking the runway. She did great at the acting challenges, like things that you wouldn't expect her to do well at. She still did a good job. And I think did just as good of a job as Raven throughout the competition. And so it really kind of makes you think with how starkly the fandom thought that Raven should have won over Tyra, that this could have had anything other than racism to play a part. Even if it's just like under the surface, like it's not like people are thinking like, oh, I wish the white queen won. I don't think that's what people were thinking. But I think it's easier for a white queen to come across as likable than it is for a black queen to come across as likable on the screen. And so even if they're both being just as mean or bitchy on the screen, the audience is more willing to forgive the white queen. And I think that's a really important thing to think about. And I think with all the hate that came from Tyra winning, I think it drained her, you know? I don't think that it's an excuse for the things that she's done. I think she needs to still be held accountable, and it needs to be clear to her that that's the things that she's done is not okay and that she can't get away with doing those things. I mean, a lot of people have experienced hate and they don't do those things. But I think it's also important for the fandom to keep in mind that this is absolutely a page in Tyra's story. It's why I view her differently from the other queens that are more or less blacklisted from the show. Because I think Tyra is blacklisted for a reason. There's a reason why they're never gonna invite Tyra back. And I don't think they should either. But the way that we got there makes me very sad, you know. It makes me sad for her.
Anyway.
Let's move forward with the rest of the reunion because we're almost done. So I was surprised by this. The RuPaul does bring back the judges, Merle and Santino, and has the queens judge the judges, which after how last season went on, I really did not think that RuPaul would want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But I think probably knew it wouldn't have been quite as messy. One of the reasons being that Pandora was kind of clearly in the Chanel spot in this. And I mean, Pandora is just a lovely person. And so Pandora wasn't going to attack Santino like Chanel did, you know? I do like the point that she makes about how she can change up her style, but these other girls can't change their personalities.
But you know, I can hire a stylist, and some of these girls in the competition needed a personality lift, and you can't get one of those.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And then she gives a nice read to Santino.
What do you have to say about Santino's outfit tonight?
I love homeless chic. I think it looks great.
It's very lighthearted, very different from last season. I mean, RuPaul didn't get into a literal fight with one of the queens, and so that's a good thing.
You forgot, Tammy. You forgot you're fabulous. Don't blame me for that. That's your responsibility.
Use your mouth.
And finally, we end the reunion with RuPaul announcing who the Miss Congeniality is, and he announces that Pandora is the Miss Congeniality of the season. I think she's a great Miss Congeniality, but I do think that this was kind of a tighter season than I think other ones could have been. And I think at the time it was very clear that Pandora was going to win Miss Congeniality. It wasn't that tight, but I think Jessica or Jujubee could have easily also won Miss Congeniality in this season. So yeah, but I'm happy Pandora won. I think she makes a great Miss Congeniality for the season, and we love Miss Pandora Box. All right, so that's the end of season 2. It's looking like I'm gonna have, a little under 4 hours of footage of just myself talking, let alone the 45 minutes of clips that I clipped of the season. So I'm really gonna try to make this one video. It might be really long though. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see how long this takes me to edit too. I think I'm gonna take a pause on doing Drag Race. I'm between Survivor Season 1 or The Challenge, The Gauntlet 2. And honestly, it might just come down to how difficult the copyright stuff is for this video. Because if it's a pain in my butt and I'm having to spend hours trying to upload this video to YouTube, I might just do The Gauntlet 2, because when I uploaded Inferno 2, I didn't get any copyright stuff. So it might come down to that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning about season 2 of Drag Race, and that you enjoyed my analysis of Tyra from the show. I hope you learned a lot, because I know I did. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and bye!